Mother, man.
This is Dr. Phil, and let me tell you something. Homicidal fathers are a serious issue that cannot be ignored. These individuals are driven to anger, frustration, violence, and for sure they listen to the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal
All right, nice of Dr. Phil to give us a little plug there. All right.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Hell yeah, it's Tuesday, and that means we are throwing down a brand new Murder Metal Mayhem. And we're here in Horns High Studios for the Horns High Podcast Network, episode 225 going on tonight. And another great intro from our buddy Shane Borchuk using some AI technology.
That was fucking nuts.
Yeah. And
this AI shit's crazy. John Connor is going to be a pissed motherfucker.
Yeah. So, yeah, Shane knocking it out of the park with that. And we're going to get him doing more of those for us. So that'll be awesome. And Chris and I are here in Horns High. Joey, how you doing over there in the 419, dude?
Doing good. Fucking hanging out.
Hell yeah.
Some brutality tonight.
Oh, my God,
it's going to
dude.
get nasty tonight. And, Joey, I saw you and Stephanie had some fun this weekend out and doing the horror bit. I don't know if you want to talk about it now or if you want to go in Mayhem or...
I'll talk about it in Mayhem a little bit.
That's cool. I wanted to talk about it.
It was a trip out to Pittsburgh, and it was a pretty cool-ass trip. So,
yeah, that's really cool.
Give the listeners a little heads up on some shit maybe they can do one day.
Dude, I loved all the Creep Show references.
Oh, man.
Because I love that shit. Yeah, I love that stuff, especially the old stuff like that. So that was super cool. With
and
the
shit
cake.
I'm going to talk about, it's cool because, like, I had no idea about a lot of that stuff that I was going to see any of that. Like, I just thought, okay, low-key horror convention, you know.
Right.
Pretty much hang out where it's at. But, man, no, I'll talk about it. There was
I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, we'll do that. And I definitely also saw, and we all did, that the old Unabomber bit the dust.
Yeah, I saw that. It's about fucking time.
I was surprised you didn't wear your Unibonger shirt
Oh,
tonight.
dude, I didn't even think of that shit.
Fuck. That would have been
Missed
good.
opportunity.
Missed opportunity. So, but good riddance to that motherfucker. But that was a good episode we did on the Unabomber. And always fun to talk about just the fucking craziness with that dude. Like, just so smart.
Yeah.
Could have used it for so many good things, right? You know,
For sure.
All right, what shirts we got on tonight, Chris? What about you over there?
Well, it's not the fucking Unibonger shirt.
No, it's not.
God damn it. I got on my Gorgie Appetite for Gore shirt. Fucking badass shit.
Fuck yeah. Nice. And the Cubs hat.
And the Cubs hat. Not that I've watched any football. Not that I've watched any baseball at all this year.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that well this year. So, well, that's all right. Joey, what about you, man? Brittany Fox?
I'm wearing the Beast Slammin' shirt, which is the buddy fucking that passed away, Brett, but down in Arkansas. But not this weekend coming up, but next weekend they're having a fest for him down in Arkansas, and a Borning's playing it, Cemetery Rape.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So I figured I'd rock this one today, and then I got the old marijuana hat I got from Chris and Courtney. It's fucking.
Hell yeah.
Represent.
Shit,
Hell yeah. And Chris?
Yeah, the fucking hobo with the shotgun.
Hobo with a shotgun shirt. I was looking through my shirts this morning, trying to think of what I was going to put on, and I saw that, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Chris and I like that movie.
Dude,
He's the one that told me about it, and
Castro's the one that told me about it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a good one. It really is. Rutger Hauer, man, that was great. So, all right, well, last week, guys, we did one hell of a bonus episode on old Alex Murdoch.
Fucking episode in and of itself.
Right?
Oh, for
right?
real,
I mean, talk about a complex fucking web of bullshit. But this guy, the disgraced former attorney who shot his wife and son to death in June of 2021, and now he is sitting in a prison cell for the rest of his shitty fucking life. So fuck him.
Not even just the murders, all the other fucking goddamn
Oh, my God.
white-collar crime
Yeah,
shit.
the white-collar shit, stealing from his clients. I mean, fucked up, horrible shit. And it was a wild one. We had Tex on to talk about all that mayhem in the low country of the South Carolina. So if you missed that, you definitely want to go and check that bonus episode out. We were passing 1,000 listens to that one today, so that's done very well. About 200 or 300 up from where we normally are right now. So
Shit, yeah.
with the new episode. So thank you to everybody maybe checking it out. And now if you're listening to a full Murder Metal Mayhem, you get the full experience. And you may run after you get the full experience.
On this one, dude. This one's
This
fucking-
one is a nasty one, so buckle in, because we are doing our second installment, Chris, of the Piece of Shit Dads of June.
Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Yeah, for sure. With old Ariel Castro, Joey. That's an iconic name in recent years.
Fuck yeah.
Guy keeping some women prisoners in his home in Cleveland there for 10 years. Fucked up shit. He had a daughter with one of these women. I mean, this is crazy. It was a huge news story.
Unfortunately, one lady didn't get to have any of her babies.
That's true. That's true. But it was a huge news story when it broke in 2015, and that neighbor managed to get Amanda Berry. I love that guy, man. The quotes and shit from
Dude.
him are great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
great
his
interviews.
911 call, dude.
Oh,
was
yeah.
fucking-
He's fucking hilarious. So we're going to talk about him, but he was the hero here. But what a cool dude. What a story it is. And we're going to break it down Murder Metal Mayhem style. And we're going to do that in the murder segment tonight because he did inadvertently do some murder. And we're going to talk about
Right,
that.
right,
Chris
for sure.
just hinted to that. But
And,
this.
and I mean, like we said, we're actually talking about some survivors tonight too, which is cool. 'cause
Yeah,
that's not
like
always the
straight up
case.
survivors.
That's a
for,
good point,
like,
Joey. There's a happy
100%.
ending to this story, you know.
But this is still, I mean, even though
Heinous as fuck, man.
these victims weren't, killed, it's still very, very fucked up. Crazy
It
story.
is. It really is. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one.
And actually, that's a fucking lie because we're all full of shit. Because as Chris was just saying, I mean, depending on how you look at the,
that-
the fetus in the womb,
That's what
he
Peter was
definitely
just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely killed some. So.
Right. And so if there was a definition of a piece of shit dad, it's
Whoa.
this dude, okay?
Man.
And grandpa. So now, Chris, you got the horns tonight, and who did you decide
Tonight
to do
I'm
it on?
gonna do fucking motherfucking Toxic Holocaust.
Hell yeah, dude. Old
Hell
school.
yeah.
Good shit.
Old school shit. Definitely. So looking forward to hearing about them. And then I got a lost classic for us. Been going down memory lane here with this one for me. And we're going to talk about what we love, which is heavy metal. And we're going to do that in the metal segment. So got a new killer cage match for you guys tonight. We didn't do one last week, so we're raring to go.
Got a new fight.
100 killers. We established a list of 100 killers, 100 objects for them to fight with, a variable in the cage, creating some just mayhem and craziness, and a song cranking the fuck out while they fight to the death. And we have our listeners provide random numbers, Chris, so we know who's fighting and what they're fighting with. And
Tonight we have Colin Rogers.
Hell yeah.
What's up? We got Peggy Sue. What's up?
419.
And the fucking goddamn Ray Mac Daddy McFalls. What up, son?
That's three of the
Brah,
usual
brah.
suspects in
Yeah,
there.
right, for
Fuck
sure.
yeah, thanks all three of you. And we got a brutal one tonight in the cage, Joey. What's up here?
Well, before I tell him, I just want to say, since Peggy Sue was one of our listeners right there,
Yeah.
I got a comment that she made. Of course, she's my girlfriend's mom, so
Right.
it goes off through text. But she had sent Stephanie a text, and she said, "Work is so much better with my AirPods. I just put on the boys, MMM, and listen to them, and it gets me through my day so much quicker." And I love hearing that.
Oh,
Fucking
that's
A,
awesome.
man. Hell yeah.
That is
So
cool.
I'm glad you're able to listen again, because she was behind a little bit, but now she's been able to catch up.
She did post, it was either a comment or a message to me just recently that said she listens to it when she does massage. I guess that's what she does.
Yep,
and she said that if her clients only knew, she was listening. She was listening to the Couch Fucker series with Crazy Mike back in the day, the early episode.
That's hilarious.
That would definitely be a good one to like replay the whole Couch Fucker thing, because oh my god, that was so fucking funny. So yeah, so that was funny. So thanks, Peggy Sue, giving those great comments. And Joey, who do we want to? Who's going at it, man?
Tonight in the cage match, we got fucking Lizzie Borden, who we just talked about her not too long ago.
Yes, we did.
Right.
And then we're gonna go to Australia and pick up old David Burney.
Oh my
damn.
that
god,
motherfucker.
Yeah, and how fitting, Joey. We're doing David Burney on a week. We're doing Ariel Castro.
Oh right,
another one for prisoners
With
in his fucking
abductions,
home.
Yep.
Except he fucking killed his.
Yeah, he straight killed his.
Yeah.
But he had his wife helping him. He's not going to have his wife in this one. And he got Lizzie Borden.
No.
Wow, if there's anything with a blade in it, he better watch out. That's for sure. And they're going to have two objects, a variable and a song playing. And the variable this week is pretty funny. It's one of the new ones. So always love that. And Colin and Ray, I think, both picked high numbers. So it was cool because that's how Lizzie Borden ended up in this one. So,
Oh, nice.
all right. Well, big thanks to everybody listening to us. This week we're at about 2,800 listens, so a little bit up.
shit! Yeah, thank you guys.
yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Keep listening.
Yeah, and keep telling your friends, your grandma, your Aunt Mabel, whatever. Awesome to see, guys. We passed another milestone, 700,000 total listens. To Murder Metal Mayhem. We keep inching closer to 1 million, which is crazy to think about that.
$1 million.
Right? So our top 10 cities listening. I was going to add this as a new thing to the intro to see what you guys think. Top 10. Chicago's number 1, has been for an awfully long time. Number 2, Brisbane, Queensland. Number 3, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Number 4, Austin, Texas. Baton Rouge, number 5. New York City, number 6. Anderson, Indiana, number 7. Honolulu, number 8. Temple, Texas, number 9. And Adelaide, South Australia is the 10th.
Right.
So
Goddamn.
yeah. So thanks to all you guys and everybody else, because we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So all right, well, make sure you check out our new website. I'm doing some updates to it, so definitely go pay it a visit, murdermetalmayhem.com. And tonight, guys, as always, we got a lot on our plate. Going to be going to Cleveland, and I think we could stop Chris in the 419 and pick Joey up along the way.
we could totally do that.
We
Let's
could.
go
We
for a
could.
ride.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can avoid getting abducted by a salsa bass player while we're at it.
Yeah, let's get our abduction, imprisonment, and rapist on.
Down the street, not knowing what follows. Watching you out of sight, thinking of ways to kill. You're thinking it another day, just the same old Monday night. You don't know what is coming. It's your last night on this earth.
Fucking nasty,
Dope,
man.
dude.
7 Doors from the UK. Fucking love those dudes. It's a 2-man project. Picked that song specifically for this episode. Stalked, strangled, and stabbed. He wasn't really stabbing, but
No, no stabbing.
same flavor here. And I thought it was a fitting tune to play for this absolute piece of shit we're gonna do tonight. Most awful fucking human being. And you know, when
Joel
it's something
Fritz.
this extreme with the rape and all that kind of thing, definitely just want to mention, you know, the way we do the show is obviously dark humor. We think this guy is an absolute fucking monster.
The worst.
The worst of the worst. Violence against anybody's wrong, but the fact he did this to young girls, one was only 14 when he picked her up. So really fucking horrible. But, you know, we do joke around in general, but obviously, you know, we think this guy is fucking an aberration and fucking an absolute piece of shit. So
Glad
just
he's
keep that in mind.
fucking-
All right.
He's
Now, tonight, we're doing, of course, the Cleveland abductor, pedophile, and rapist. He's got quite the pedigree, Ariel Castro. And the fact that he beat one of his victims repeatedly while she was pregnant, as we mentioned earlier, on several occasions, forcing her to miscarry, definitely makes this piece of shit a murderer.
He's not a fucking pleasant guy to be around. Well,
No.
he was to some people,
He was to some, right? And it is a horrible story about a guy who played bass. This fucking hits me in the fucking Jimmy. Played bass in a salsa band, drove a bus for the school district,
Dude.
and abducted 3 girls and kept them prisoner in his home for more than 10 years. I mean, what the fuck?
That's fucking... And the fact they were so close to where they were lived and
Blocks
shit.
away.
Like,
yeah, just
goddamn.
unbelievable. And even fathered a baby with one of the girls. So horrible. They're blocks away, like you said, Chris. And he did some horrible shit to them. They managed, though, as Joey said, to eventually escape thanks to a good neighbor who was eating a Big Mac on his porch.
Hell yeah.
Heard all the commotion, and
Which
he
is
came
funny
over.
because, as we'll see, Castro loved his McDonald's. Fuck.
He did, man. He did. So we're going to dig into the details tonight for this one. So this should be good.
Him and Sick Ripper can go get some.
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to work him in, maybe. So, Chris, the fact that this story exploded when these girls were rescued, I mean,
Oh, dude, it
most
was
people are going to know who
huge.
this
It
guy
was
is.
all over the fucking news, man. Like, I vaguely remember this story coming out. I had a couple beers since then, so
Couple,
like,
yeah.
but yeah, but I remember it being on the news. It's just like, holy fuck, this dude had these fucking wow.
And so rare that they're found like that.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
would
we
never
said.
think, like, you would never think these women would be found ever again. They could have just died in his basement, but
Yeah.
due to certain circumstances, boom.
Yep, they got out. They got out. Now, Joey, I mean, now that you're in the 419, you're an Ohio resident, but do you think the people from Cleveland feel a fucking sense of embarrassment about some shit like this going on just in plain sight?
I don't think so. I don't think they really feel embarrassed by it because I think whenever, Amanda Berry came out of the house in the first place and they realized what was going on, I think that blew every person around there's mind. They had no idea.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk. There was a couple slight telltales where people saw some things and they were a little curious.
Right,
about,
and the
but-
cops kind of blew the fucking
Right.
Yeah.
But in overall, in general, the neighborhood itself never ever really looked at his house like where those girls would have been ever.
So crazy, man.
And we're going to talk about it. There's people hanging out over there, and he's very sociable. And
Yeah.
No one knew. So
No, and what is it, guys, about how these people can just fucking fool people like that? It's just, it blows my mind,
man,
yeah.
you gotta be able to fucking block shit out real good.
Right.
Like really, really good. If you got 3 captive people that you're repeatedly
Right.
torturing every
And
fucking
everybody
day,
thinks you're that nice guy that lives
Yeah.
in that house by
there's
himself.
something in your
you know?
head that ain't right.
And I mean, if you want to talk about something in the head that ain't right, I mean, we're in all the way to the end of this case, and you're going to hear about how he talks in court about it. And this dude never really fucking. I mean, he knew what he did was wrong, but I don't think he ever really felt like it was as bad as anybody was.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all.
Right.
You're exactly right, Joey. Yeah, this guy just had a fucking a mental break with fucking reality for sure.
There's like some of the ways he talks. It's almost like he can't believe that people can't see what he was doing and trying to do.
Right.
His purpose, like he was like, no, I had to, like it was all for a reason. Like this motherfucker is weird and
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like all of us, I remember hearing about this case when the girls were saved. I mean, watching the news coverage, like you said, Chris, it was all over the place. The neighbor coming to rescue him. I mean, what a great story of how people came together to save them. And we're talking about all of it, but this is about 8 years ago, so it is fresh. And this dude more than qualifies for a piece of shit Dads of June episode. So
Yeah.
now Ariel Castro, born in 1960 in Puerto Rico, And he had 3 siblings. His parents split when he was young, raised by his mom in the U.S., though. But we know that Puerto Rico is currently a state, but of course, when this happened, it was not. They started out in Reading, Pennsylvania, then moved to Cleveland, where his dad, ironically, was living at the time. And so lots of family is there. They had 6 additional siblings that were half brothers and sisters, so a total of 9 offspring in this family. So big family. And Ariel graduated from high school in 1979. So now, Chris, when the Castros moved across the street from the Figueroas, love was in the air, wasn't it?
Fuck yeah, like he met Grimilda, which is a crazy ass fucking name.
Yeah, sounds like a character on the Addams Family or something. Grimilda.
Or fucking goddamn Lord of the Rings or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they fucking move into the house, fucking nuts, 2207 Seymour Avenue. But like, it wasn't a good place to be because basically the reason they moved in together is because she basically lost her virginity to him, and his mom was like, "Oh well, now you guys got to fucking move in together.
Right?
You guys
right.
fuck. Now you live together, whatever."
Right.
But it didn't turn out so good because he turned out to be very, very abusive and very controlling.
Yeah.
Like not letting her watch TV, like certain shows, because he hated black people. So
Right.
anything like the Cosby Show or anything like that, he's like, nope, can't do that. Like,
Right. Yeah, he was fucked
He was
up.
just very abusive and controlling toward her. And if she didn't do what he said, she got a fucking beating.
Yeah, she got physical beatings for sure. So 2207 Seymour is in the Tremont neighborhood of West Cleveland, poor but working class neighborhood. And like we said, nobody suspected a thing. This is a 2-story house, 1,400 square feet, 4 bedrooms and a bathroom. There was an unfinished basement as well. We'll talk a little bit about the basement. The house was built in 1890, but was remodeled in 1956 and blended in, with the rest of the houses there in the neighborhood. So very inconspicuous.
Right.
Now, Joey, speaking of violence in the home, I mean, what sort of injuries did this motherfucker dish out? Jesus.
I mean, they got a house. They're both working. I mean, everything. They're trying to make the life, but the problem is Ariel's got a fucking hot temper and a
Right.
fucking mean fucking. He likes to cause some pain, and I don't know. He never really talked about it like that, so I don't know if he was like some kind of sadomasochist or if he really just was a fucking idiot and would get fucking angry and fucking lash out, to somebody
Right.
who couldn't defend herself. But he ended up fucking like breaking her nose and fucking broke her arm. Fucking, I think she had like 3 fucking ribs fractured
From getting
Right.
kicked
down
and
some
shit.
stairs.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
fucking booting her,
Throwing her down the stairs. That one was
Yeah.
really bad. Didn't
Yeah,
she hit her
had a
head?
fracture in her skull. Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
Horrible.
Like
then-
from the front to the back, they said, like, just busted it
But
open.
Yeah.
he beat her so hard that she ended up with a fucking inoperable tumor. I mean,
Yeah.
these are fucking horrible fucking
Yeah,
things.
this is beyond the pale for, just a typical, home violent situation
Right.
here.
And,
So-
and I don't know if the neighborhood that he's living in, because it was poor working class, if maybe people just fucking turned a deaf ear and blind eye to a lot of shit like that,
yeah, it's
I just don't
unfortunate.
understand how this dude fucking gets a job as a bus driver.
Right.
dude.
Fucking known for fucking breaking your wife's,
Yeah.
body up or whatever.
Exactly. And in 93, he gets arrested for it, but never indicted. So it's one of these guys that just slips through the cracks, walks between the raindrops. It's fucking frustrating as hell.
Didn't she, like, drop the charges because she was scared of repercussions for
I
him?
wouldn't doubt it. I read the book, but it's been a couple months ago. I don't remember that, but that's very possible. I mean, this guy was very intimidating. I mean, she would have been scared to death. She was scared when she left, let alone when she
Right.
was living
And
there with this motherfucker.
This is back whenever, honestly, like women or men too, I guess, but people in domestic violence situations, if they didn't want to press charges, basically that was the end of it.
Right.
Where
The state wouldn't take over.
After that, the state would pick it up, and it didn't
Right.
matter. There were still charges being pressed, but back then that wasn't the case. Like women could go in and be like, "No, I don't want to press charges."
Right.
They just drop them. And shit.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right, dude. But in 96, she moves out. So finally, but they've got 4 fucking kids by then. 3 girls and a boy. Ariel Jr. was the son. She's lucky to get the fuck out of there, though. When she did, at least she had somewhat of a pleasant life with her new boyfriend. She files charges on him multiple times for threats that he made, where he was, continuing to beat her even though she wasn't living in the fucking house. He was taking the girls without, asking her permission and just kind of doing what the fuck he wanted.
Right.
And she didn't like it, and nothing was happening. But Ariel stayed at the 2207 Seymour address, but very seldom would let people in his house. If they were, you kind of went to the living room, which would have been the room you walked into from outside. But beyond that was the kitchen.
And it was a fucking mess. It was gross.
Yeah, and not many people got to the kitchen, but the few that did said every door leading from the kitchen was locked and padlocked.
Yeah, the padlocks.
Yeah, so that was kind of creepy. And of course, he came up with some bullshit excuse. He had money he was missing.
Yeah, money buried or some shit.
Crap,
Hey,
you know.
But I mean, you got to think something sketchy going on. When
Right.
like the basement door, the fucking attic
Right.
door, everything's
Yeah,
fucking
everything's
padlocked
locked.
shut. There's fucking chains around shit. It's like,
Yeah,
this fucking
Yeah.
feels like a homemade prison that shouldn't
it
be
really
a thing.
does. It really does. So, it's crazy.
They start boarding up the windows and shit too. Like,
He did board up. That's what that Charles Ramsey said. He goes, I don't know how these people survived in there with no air conditioning and the windows
Right.
all boarded up. He's like, I always wondered who the hell is in there and how are they surviving that, It's fucked up. So, Chris, the people that were in the house would say the doors leading from the kitchen, like we said, are locked. But, I mean, that basement door, he really didn't want anybody going down there.
nobody was ever allowed in the basement, and this is even before the known fucking abductions, because who fucking knows what happened before,
Right.
Yeah.
like, occurred. So like he's got that basement blocked off hardcore. Nobody's allowed down there ever.
Yeah. He have, like, would he hit some porn and some other.
Oh, there was a whole lot of porn all over the place. He loved porn.
Right. Right. Yeah, so that's definitely off limits to everybody, and that's where he had his little bank, his private little bank, piggy bank down there in the
he said he had,
dryer or
like,
whatever.
10,000 or he had a shit ton
In
of
his
money.
dryer or
Yeah.
washer or whatever the fuck it was. So Joey Castro's ex-wife files complaints against him, and the restraining orders. I mean, is anything working with this guy, man?
Not really. I mean, she filed the restraining orders; those get dismissed, and I mean, he's in and out of the view of the police, with complaints and things like that. But he never actually gets in any kind of real trouble over it. She was probably, even though she had gotten out, she was probably still in some sort of control, under some sort of control of his, for the fact they had the kids, so she couldn't completely cut ties with him. I mean, she could have, but
Right.
She didn't, and I'm not trying to act like that's an easy thing, or even that's a whole other thing.
Oh, sure.
But she, didn't break the ties, obviously, so things were still bad with him, and she's dealing with that, but for all of that, he never got in any serious trouble over it.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I don't know if these police departments are just overwhelmed. I mean, what do you guys think is the reason somebody like this slips through the cracks? Is the system just fucking broken, or is it just always been? Is it worse nowadays, you think, than it was at this time?
I think it's like we were saying, went back then, like if the female dropped it, it was done with. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if she cuts off the fucking restraining order, that's it.
Right.
Like, or
Yeah.
not even just the female, the person who has the restraining order.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And not only that, we're talking fucking Cleveland in the early 90s, and if anybody listens to Bone, they know that shit's thuggish over there. So
Right.
The possibility that the police departments and stuff were kind of, backed up and full with all kinds of shit.
Yeah, and it wasn't the
that's-
greatest neighborhood either. So, like,
Right.
you know how it is in older shitty neighborhoods like that. Like,
Right. People keep to themselves. They don't
Yeah.
want to have any fucking problems, So she has a new boyfriend who's really good to her and the kids. And of course, Ariel not liking that a whole lot. He convinces his fucking girls to say that this dude had inappropriately touched him. And he gets this motherfucker arrested and convicted of the crimes, which is absolutely fucked. Right. Eventually, he's vindicated, but Jesus Christ. And sadly, though, Gramilda died in 2012 from complications of, as we mentioned earlier, that brain tumor that she got from the fall from him throwing her down the stairs, which is fucked up. I mean,
so
it's
really
terrible.
He's responsible for that, too.
That's true. I mean, there's another death. He did cause it, right? So, Chris, I mean, Castro now driving the bus.
Yeah, he's fucking working for a fucking goddamn elementary school, basically.
The Cleveland Metropolitan School District. That's like the city fucking school system. That's like a lot of fucking kids, man.
The worst person you could fucking ever have driving a bus full of your kids, man.
Right.
He did get in trouble a couple times. He had a fucking bus full of kids, and like right in front of a bunch of parents and shit in front of the school or whatever, he does this fucking stupid ass U-turn that's illegal.
We should have him race for fucking pinks with fucking Sick Ripper with the bus and the fucking van. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fucking, that'd be great. Yeah, but fucking, it's fucking just stupid why you would do that and not think you're gonna get away with it, because. And think you are going to get away with it, but then he's got these two kids on the bus this one time. He dropped the one off, left the other one in the bus. Decides he's going to go to I think it was Wendy's.
Went to lunch.
Yeah, he went to go get something to eat at Wendy's. Told this fucking little 5 or 6 year old girl to go lay down in the back of the bus. It was like, lay down, bitch, and stay there till I get back. And this motherfucker goes and eats motherfucking Wendy's and just comes out like nothing happened. Like, all right.
Got his Frosties. Like,
yeah,
fuck
it didn't even get the fucking kid a fucking Frosty.
Yeah,
what a fucking
got her
dick,
Frosty.
dude. Jesus
That's
Christ.
bogus as fuck, man.
Just fucking get a cruise home, take a nap, fuck this bus shit.
But how much
Sick Ripper would have got her a fucking Frosty.
He would have. He would have gone to McDonald's.
Yeah, he got a McFlurry and shit.
He's all about the McDonald's thing. But Chris, what did you see how much money this guy was making?
Yeah, and fucking that fucking that year, it's 2012, fucking $18 an hour. That's $41 an hour right now.
Right, I checked that shit. $41 an hour. That's crazy how much it's jumped up, right? But yeah, so this motherfucker's making $41 an hour driving a bus for the school district. I'm not belittling bus drivers. I'm just saying that's a lot of fucking money.
Right, that's badass.
And this guy's just fucking jacking around, leaving kids in the bus, going to lunch, illegal U-turns, like he's on fucking driving the fucking a fucking race car.
Fucking
what
Twisted
the fuck
Metal
with this
and
dude?
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, bus drivers get paid good enough that Lorenzo turned down running numbers. Remember that shit? Fucking Bronx Tale.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was like,
hilarious.
I'm going to keep my city job. I don't need your fucking gangster money.
Yep.
Bronx Tale.
We just watched that last night. So
I've been meaning to watch that again. I love fucking Chaz Palminteri. He's fucking amazing.
Oh,
that movie's just fucking awesome.
Yeah, the movie is great. But this guy's just doing some dumb shit.
You just can't leave.
Dumb shit. He's also super into cars. Good mechanic. Neighbors would say he'd help people out if they needed something done to their car, which is just so fucked up how they're able to act like that and then be a complete monster. We've talked about this so many fucking times. But Joey, what about the musician side of old Ariel Castro, man?
I mean, ever since he came from Puerto Rico, he had been playing music. He was really into salsa and things like that, and he was a bass player. Now, he would fucking hang out at his house and fucking basically jam with these dudes, and you could watch the interviews with some of them guys and shit, and like they were like fucking just hanging out at the House of Horrors, like jamming out hard as fuck, not knowing there's some fucking girls,
three prisoners in the house. Yeah. Yeah, he was a really good bass player, I heard.
Yeah.
The book that I read, shows some of the gear that he had. So
Yeah.
he had some nice shit, which is just fucked
people
up.
used to love to hear him. Even whenever they were jamming out on his porch, the neighborhood people loved fucking hearing that.
Oh, yeah. And he was in several bands. I mean, the premier salsa bands in Cleveland he played for.
Right.
So he was, making some money doing that, and just really weird. Again, like the cubing thing. Like, how does he fucking do that and then go home and fucking, rape fucking prisoners in his house?
Right.
I mean, it's so fucked
But
up.
But it was weird though, because some of the guys that he would jam with, of course, sometimes they go in the house and he'd be basically yeah, you're okay to go to the bathroom, go and get a beer out of the fridge. There were certain things, but he didn't really want anybody anywhere else. And I thought that was kind of strange.
Right.
And then I also saw where they said whenever they'd be hanging out with him in his house, he would have the radio turned up super fucking loud.
Right.
So and they would be you would have to yell just to talk to him, but that's how he was all the time. He always just had the music up, and we just always figured it was that. But of course, in hindsight now, it's probably so nobody heard some bumps or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, very, very, very fucked up with all that going on. But it really hurts me that the guy was a bass player. I wish he was a drummer. Drummers, they can fucking take the rap, but bass player, god damn. So
if he'd been a drummer, maybe he'd have been busy touring, and he would never have fucking did this bullshit in the first place.
That's very possible. Yeah, he'd be in fucking 47 fucking bands, right? So all these drummers are like that, right? Because there's so few of them out there that can play like that. There were several accounts. People said, we've been talking, great musician, but his personal life was a fucking mess. House is in foreclosure, which I don't fucking understand at $41 an hour, but goddamn, buying too much fucking music gear or something.
Yeah.
He's not
Definitely not
paying
spending
property tax, so he just wasn't paying his taxes, which is really stupid.
And he's definitely not spending on provisions for his captives.
Yeah, he's buying a McDonald's and shit, so he's on the cheap here with this. But he has this good job, and all the money he's making playing. So I mean, it's amazing. But he does have a bunch of cash. Was it, Chris, 10 grand?
Something like that.
That he kept in the basement in an old washing machine, or a dryer, one of the two. So that's fucked up. And that would later be seized by the cops. I'm sure they were like, Bill, come over here and check this out. What the fuck is this?
Right.
It's so crazy.
See all this fucking cash in here? Should we say anything or keep it?
Yeah, exactly. Anybody need a dryer? Chris, what about the abductions now? We're getting into the nasty part of this here.
Yeah, so Michelle Knight, she was the first one. Her home life growing up was not good. She was getting molested by a family friend or a relative of the family.
Yeah.
From the time she was 5 until she turned 13, 14, 15.
Such a sad
And then she
fucking
ran away
story.
from home. And she's sleeping under this overpass and shit, sleeping in garbage cans and shit to try and stay warm or whatever.
Right.
And she starts getting say alms for the poor, from the churches, getting free meals and whatever. And then she gets hooked up with these fucking drug dealers who are paying her $300 a month or whatever to run drugs and giving her a place to live. But then one of her dad's friends seen her fucking underneath the bridge and told him about it, went and snatched her up and took her back home. So then she turns 17 and she ends up getting pregnant and shit. So she has this baby. She named him Joey and shit.
Now, this is not this Joey, right? This is not our Joey.
Is that you?
Because I started wondering, I'm doing the math. is that even possible? Has Joey been lying to us the whole time?
Right?
No, different Joey.
But so this whole family dynamic at her house with her mom and her mom's boyfriend isn't good because he's fucking a mean ass alcoholic, and she leaves her kid with her mom to watch her while she's trying to find a job or whatever so they can get their own place. Well, her mom ends up leaving her grandkid with the boyfriend, and he ends up breaking her leg, so the kid has to go to the hospital, and the whole family service comes into it, and they take Joey away.
Right.
So, and this is when she's 21 years old, fucking, so Michelle at the time, she's trying to fucking fight to get custody back of her kid, and there's this meeting with the family services, and there's a place she's never been before in town. She gets fucking lost.
Right.
So she stops into a Family Dollar or Dollar General or whatever, like trying to find directions because she's walking, because she's supposed to get a ride from somebody in the family. They're like, oh, well, I can't do it now. So she's
Right.
walking. She goes in this Family Dollar and asks for directions. They give her directions. Well, Castro just happens to be right around lurking and is like, I know where that place is. I'll fucking give you a ride, dude. And she's like, oh, okay, got you. Bet. So they're on their way there, whatever, and she's talking about how she's trying to get her kid back. And they go past her, or they start heading to his house because they said something about puppies and like her kid liked puppies. And he's
Right.
like, well, my dog just had puppies. We can just run to the house real quick and you can pick one out to give to Joey when you get him. So she's like, oh, all right, cool, fucking bet. That's awesome. So they get to the house and he does not have any fucking puppies. I'm going to tell you that.
Right.
He has a fucking torture chamber. He fucking gets her into the house and instantly just grabs her, fucking puts his hands around her nose and mouth and shit, fucking holds her and just like scream, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Change her up. And dude, he's like got her bound up with cords, like hanging off the
basement,
ground.
right?
Yeah, in the basement. Like he's got these fucking posts and shit in the basement with fucking chains and shit. But he's got her like hog-tied, hands and feet behind her back, fucking, and like around her fucking eyes or some shit. I don't remember exactly, her neck or whatever, but like dang, like up in the air, like a foot off the ground for days, dude, and just raping her and fucking whatever, dude. It was
I think he had a motorcycle helmet on him too.
Like to keep her. Yeah, you do that to all of them when they chain them up
couldn't
to
scream and
shove her down, like cover him with a motorcycle helmet, like a full face one, not just
Right.
like the. Yeah, he fucking instantly went into fucking
awful, man.
You're mine now, bitch.
Yeah, that's the fucking.
It's so crazy because nowadays, like, oh, you fucking talk to her at this store and fucking, you know, you're on camera now and all this shit. Back then, he's lucky as fuck that he fucking got away with that.
Oh God,
Right
yeah.
now, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they would have seen him instantly with that shit. Yeah, for sure.
But even back then, it's wild that, you know, maybe one of the fucking people that worked there or something didn't happen to notice him or be able to give a description of the last person that was with her.
Right.
But as we're about to find out, it's not like anybody was really.
Yeah, nobody was looking for her, which is horrible.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Castro fucked with her about that, kept reminding her,
Yeah,
nobody
her mom
cares
didn't give
about
a shit,
you.
really. Like they weren't. She wasn't actively surging, like not unlike the next two, but
Yeah, and the police would say, you know, the resources weren't there, and if people weren't calling and asking about where's their child, they're not going to even know she's missing. It's terrible. It really is. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But she by far got treated the worst, and I can't imagine the mental shit she's been dealing with ever since this, and I hope that she's doing a lot better now. Now, Joey, the next girl to be abducted is Amanda Berry. That would be April of 2003. What was that?
This becomes Castro's favorite.
Right.
And Amanda Berry, it was the day before she was going to turn 17. She was working a job at Burger King, and she was walking home from there. And Castro, he sees her. He fucking pulls up in his ride, and he happens to be like, oh, I know so-and-so that works at Burger King too, and fucking makes a connection with her and says, oh, I can give you a ride. And, you know, exactly like fucking Michelle, he fucking gets her in his car and brings her back to Seymour Avenue.
Right.
The difference, of course, between Amanda Berry and Michelle Knight was the fact that Amanda Berry's mom was immediately, where's my daughter? Yada, yada.
Exactly.
She was in the public eye and harping on the police department. So she did make a fuss to have the case, you know, solved or whatever, you know.
Right.
But of course, that's not going to happen quite yet.
No, but she definitely is a big voice here, and you know, it's amazing how much these families never gave up hope, which is just unbelievable. You would think most people would give up, right? Now I read an FBI.
Sadly, I was going to say, like you were talking, you know, her mom did not get to see her make it out of the house, even though she was there and being very vocal in the press and to the police. She passed away before Amanda Berry.
Yeah,
escaped.
definitely sad. Now I read the FBI considered Amanda a runaway at first, but after a week of her being gone, a male used her phone to call her mother and said, "I have Amanda, she's fine, and we'll be home in a couple of days." So
Yeah, when he did that, like when her mom asked, like, "Well, can I talk to her?" He hung up.
right.
Yeah.
And then a couple of minutes later, called back and was like, "Oh, well, she's gonna be my wife. She wants to be with me." Fucking, like,
Wow.
That's
fucked.
that's fucking with the family even harder
Right.
than you are. Like, dude,
Yeah.
not
It's
a good
terrible.
person.
Terrible. So now things, of course, change. They're passing out flyers, posting them everywhere. Like we said, her mom's in the news or on the news a lot. Of course, Castro sees all this and loves, gloating about it. Probably getting fucking off on this bullshit.
Oh, he's like laughing about it and shit.
Yeah. And he's showing them, Amanda, that they're looking for her, and she's got to watch
Right.
this shit on TV,
And
she can't do anything about it. That's
And
fucking
like
horrible.
you said, and looking at Michelle and like seeing nobody's even fucking looking for you at all.
Right.
Nobody
Right.
cares.
Yeah. So he was sexually abusing both Michelle and Amanda. Definitely took more of a liking to Amanda, as we've been saying. He acted like she was his girlfriend, let her out of her room after a bit of time. But he did keep her locked upstairs as well. He had Michelle in one room, Amanda in another on the second floor, of course, locked at all times, and a bucket to shit and piss in, which has just got to be fucking terrible, especially in the summer on the second floor
In the
of an
attic
old house
sometimes, dude,
with
fuck.
no fucking ventilation whatsoever. I mean, absolutely horrendous. Now, Chris, the last of the girls to be abducted was Gina De Jesus in April of 2004.
Yeah, she was 14 years old and she's pretty
Man.
fucking fucked because she was friends with his daughter. I can't remember what his daughter's name was.
Yeah, I lose track of it, but yeah.
But they were walking back from school or walking home from school or whatever, and they were gonna hang out together. But Gino his daughter wasn't allowed. Got a hold of her mom, wasn't allowed to hang out, so they separated ways. Well, Castro had seen them walking, but then turned around and saw that they were going separate ways, and he's like, asked Gina if he had seen her, if she had seen his daughter, and he's like, yeah, going that way. So he convinced her to get in the car to go help look for her. Terrible idea.
Not good.
Yeah, he fucking gets her in the car, and guess where he goes? Straight to his fucking house.
Right.
Gets her in the house and says, why do you take her there? I don't remember the reasoning for taking her there.
I don't remember either.
But yeah, once he
Wait
gets,
for the daughter, maybe, or something
yeah,
like that.
I think something like that. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but oh no, he said he needed to move a fucking speaker.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I need help moving this speaker. Like, fuck you, dude. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. So he like talks her in and fucking come to the house to help him move the speaker. And once he gets her in the house, he instantly gets her in the fucking house and somehow in the bathroom and fucking just like right there, just rapes her right there instantly. Fucking
Right.
no good.
Does she end up in the basement too, or does he take her straight upstairs
She went, if I remember right, she went straight upstairs.
and chained up
And
to
chained up,
Michelle? Yeah. So fucked up. And the fact that the stories in the book are just heart wrenching. They would like hold each other's hand when he was raping them because they were chained up together.
Right.
So, I mean, holy shit, this is so fucking terrible. Just like with Amanda, Gina's family's all over the news. They're putting up flyers. Again, we're talking with 2 or 3 blocks from where this fucking dude is keeping them. It's just so fucking terrible. Her dad knew fucking Castro.
Yeah, they went to school together. Yeah.
I mean, so this is just fucking crazy. And he's using this shit to also torment Michelle, reminding her that nobody gives a shit about her. So, I mean, that's just the mind fuck of all, right? And he does allow Amanda to watch TV in her room, and he continues to treat her better, but he's still sexually assaulting all of them, okay? Now, America's Most Wanted ran a story about Amanda and Gina's disappearances since they're both from that same neighborhood, and they were featured on Oprah, Montel Williams, and other shows. And I saw that psychic, I hate this fucking bitch, Sylvia Brown from Montel. She told Amanda's mother that she was dead in water, but she did say she was abducted by a Hispanic male. But like a lot of these fortune tellers, Joey, you know, in a Hispanic-dominated neighborhood, that's not a huge stretch to say that she was abducted by a Hispanic male, right? I mean,
no, it's not a stretch at all. And you got to think about, you know, we just said, you know, Amanda and Gina are both being talked about on some of the biggest reality shows, true crime shows of the time back then. And, you know, Castro's loving that because they're not saying shit about Michelle, and he's fucking using that just to fucking make her feel like shit. And the psychological torment is just horrible.
It is, dude. It is. But, I mean, what is it that Castro did for each of these girls on the anniversary of their abduction? He fucking
got them. They'd have a party and eat cake, and they would celebrate the fact that, you know, the 1 year anniversary of being in the home, or 2 years, or whatever,
like it was
up to the 10 years.
Like it was an occasion to fucking celebrate, right? I mean, that's so fucked up. And I can't imagine, you know, having to sit through some shit like that. I mean, that's just fucked up. This guy definitely had a warped fucking mind. Now,
didn't that start because it was like a candlelight vigil for Amanda, because she got abducted like the day before her 17th birthday, right?
That's right.
And they were having vigil, so they were having cake on this fucking vigil that was televised.
Oh,
and that's what gave him
was?
the fucking idea.
Okay.
Like, let's
I
do
like that idea. Yeah, fuck him. So a year after Gina's abduction, so she was the last of the three that was abducted, the police release a sketch of the suspect based on an eyewitness. Hispanic male, was about 5'10", which Castro was 5'7", but the rest of the description pretty close. But again, in that neighborhood, that's not that out of the ordinary, and a lot of men probably fit that description. But, you know, we were talking about those vigils, the candlelight vigils. This motherfucker was there, fucking crying with the family, like... That's
he was
fucked
leading
up.
the vigil.
Yeah. He was speaking at him. I mean, that's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. And imagine being those girls watching this shit on TV while he's there speaking at the vigil, and you're like, motherfucker, are you fucking kidding me? You know?
Like, he fucking handing out flyers and shit. He even took one of the flyers of, I think it was Gina, and just hung it up in the house and shit.
To show Michelle that...
Like,
nobody's looking for you like this.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ,
that's fucked, man. But speaking of Michelle, Chris, I mean, what happens with her with these pregnancies, man?
So she ended up getting pregnant by him a total of 5 times, I think it was.
I think that's right.
And he would do everything to me. He was so angry about it or whatever. And he'd starve her. He'd like not give her any food, trying to starve her. He'd fucking kick her in her stomach. He was like beating her with barbell or like dumbbells and shit, like beating, like whatever he needed to do. And he knew that she had this very, very bad allergy to mustard and shit.
That's right.
So one of the time, because like whenever he'd bring the McDonald's sandwiches, she wouldn't eat them because they had mustard on them unless he ordered them without mustard. And so he knew that she had this allergy. And one of the times she got pregnant, he took, this is later on in the story, but he took Jocelyn?
Yeah.
To a fair, came back with hot dogs for everybody, smothered in mustard, and forced her to fucking eat this fucking thing.
Oh, man.
And and she didn't come out good after that. Like, I mean, she lived through it. Amanda helped nurse her through this, but she got very, very sick from eating this fucking hot dog. He'd throw her down steps, like, whatever
like
he had to do.
Grimilda, like the way he beat her, you know?
Yeah, like just
Fucked
kicking
up.
her in the stomach.
It's so crazy. It's like, dude, you're raping her daily, like
multiple times a day,
and you're mad that she's pregnant. Like, dude, like tie a knot in it, fucking put a rubber on, or fucking, I don't know. I mean, stop doing it. Jesus Christ.
And at
what the fuck?
And at 5'7", I don't even think she was 5 feet tall.
I don't think she was. She was
like,
really small, short.
Yeah.
So
and
this is horrible, man.
He's just throwing her around like a fucking rag doll, and
really bad.
She's got no chance. She's getting, like you said, repeatedly fucking raped, repeatedly fucking beat.
Yeah,
there's no
it's terrible, man.
And the last, I think the fifth pregnancy, Like, he fucking said, you better hope that fucking thing's dead. And then when she's stillborn, the baby, he's like started blaming her that the
Right.
fucking baby was dead and shit. Like,
Yeah.
like total piece of shit, narcissistic motherfucker.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. And Joey, he ends up getting old Amanda pregnant. So what happens now? We got a pregnant hostage in the house.
Well, he's fucking happy about this one.
Right.
He like we said, Amanda's his favorite, and so she gets pregnant. And he's all about it, and he treats her well, lets her up into the bedroom, and she's
Clean.
obviously playing along with this, and she's doing what she can to survive,
Right.
and coming out a lot better for it than Michelle did, unfortunately, and she ends up having this baby. But yeah, it was definitely in stark contrast to how he treated Michelle when she got pregnant, and Michelle had to watch this, and Michelle would end up caring for the kid. She helped.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we're
she
getting
helped
there,
fucking
yeah.
deliver this child.
That's
Yeah,
true.
This is fucked up.
That's
So,
true.
Anyway,
But what do you think of the Stockholm syndrome with this story? Do you guys think that these girls almost sympathized
I don't
with
think
him
they
in a
did.
way,
I
or
think they
no?
were just trying to do what they could to survive. I don't think they were sympathizing with him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Michelle was like defiant as fuck through the whole thing.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got to give it to her. I mean, she was getting treated like that. And she was like, "Fuck you," I
Yeah.
mean, just fucking didn't give a shit, about what he did. I mean, she just kept. She would fucking
And this-
starve if she wouldn't give in to him. She would resist and fight as much as possible. And
They're
you
not
got to
getting
admire
any
that.
medical care for any of these beatings or anything.
Right. All these miscarries and stuff, just absolutely fucked. So Castro, when he leaves the house, he locks the doors from the outside so they can't get out. The windows, as we said, are all boarded up. He's got the fucking salsa cranked the fuck up on the stereo. So even if they were crying out, you're not going to hear them.
I mean, you would think as a neighbor, though, if constant fucking salsa just
Dude,
blaring.
really?
All right, I'm calling the fucking cops. I'm going to go fucking beat this dude's ass myself.
Oh my God. So I know where I lived when I lived in Danbury, not too far from CK's old stomping grounds there on Wildman. There was a lot of that kind of salsa music, and it was like, oh my God, the cars would pull up in the summer with the windows
Yeah.
down, and our apartment was like 10 feet from the fucking main road.
Right.
So it was like really loud when they pulled up, and it was like, really? Like the whole fucking apartment is shaking. And it's that. I mean, if it was shaking and it was like Ride the Lightning, that would be cool.
Right.
But it wasn't, okay? But this is just, that's how he did it, to mask any sort of attempt to cry out. And on rare occasions when people are in the house, like we said, he's got it up loud. You can't hardly hear him. And, he's doing it, of course, to drown out any of the cries. There was one time they were banging, and he come up with some kind of fucking excuse of what was causing it. And after hearing what was going on there, a guy felt bad, that he didn't ask questions when he heard that noise and
It's like,
whatever
oh,
shit excuse
okay,
he gave.
That's the excuse.
He accepted it, but he wished he would have pushed further. But, who knows? This shit went on for over 10 fucking years, which is unbelievable to think. He even had a girlfriend for a while. So if he wasn't tired enough raping 3 fucking prisoners
Now he's got
daily,
a fucking regular.
now he's got this girlfriend. I mean, how do you even fucking, wow. I mean, deal with all of that bullshit going on. And she doesn't stick around long at his place, so he's spending time over at her place. But, he's paranoid about getting back because he doesn't want them to get away. He knows he's got to feed them. So, I mean, he would have been
eventually
like
broke
Ray
up with-
Liotta at the end of Goodfellas, where he's
Right,
seeing the
back and forth,
helicopter and
yeah,
running
go
back.
running, yeah.
Stew the fucking sauce, huh? And he's sweating and everything. That's what I'm thinking of with this. Like, my God, dude, like, how
Well,
did
he
you pull this all
eventually-
together?
He eventually broke up with that girlfriend because of time and shit. Like,
Right.
I got these pets at home that I need to fucking deal with.
Yeah. So what happens on Christmas Day, Chris?
Yeah, which is fucked up
2006,
Christmas
man.
Day, dude. So Amanda, she's going into labor, and this nice gentleman,
Yeah.
as opposed, besides the basement is the best place to have
I mean,
this
the
child.
hospital's not acceptable. He's
Right.
got a better option.
Yeah, he's got a better option. But since the basement's so fucked up, the floor and everything, he's like,
Right. It's like
"Well, I
a
got this-"
cellar. It's not even like a basement.
Right.
It's like
He's
a
like, I got this
dirt
fucking
floor.
little plastic kiddie pool. We'll just have the baby in there.
Yeah.
It's a water birth, sir.
There you go.
It's a water birth.
There you go. And it's sterile.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
so-
totally sterile.
Totally.
But but he makes Michelle fucking goddamn come down and deliver this fucking baby.
Screaming at her the whole fucking time.
Right. He's like just screaming obscenities at her and telling her if something happens to this fucking kid, she's gonna die.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, when the fucking kid
Didn't they?
what's it?
Didn't he have a shotgun to her head?
I think
he
it was
had
something.
gun,
was it a gun?
gun, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they said there were basically like 3 lives at stake during this: the mother, the child, and then Michelle. Because I think he had a gun to her head, and he's like,
Right.
"Look, if she doesn't make it through this, I'm blowing your fucking
Yeah,
head
because
off."
this
Right.
baby was born not fucking breathing and
Right.
blue and shit.
Yeah,
And
So
he was
like Castro's
fucking
just
going
screaming
nuts.
at you, if you fucking don't make this baby fucking, if you don't make this right, I'm gonna fucking kill you. But she's giving this little brand newborn baby CPR and shit, fucking breathing.
Wow.
Eventually the baby starts breathing. And fucking,
Unbelievable.
They fucking that saved Michelle's life.
Dude, that was so much better doing that in the fucking baby pool. I mean,
Way better.
I mean,
The
would that
baby
have had
pool
a
was-
better ending at a hospital?
No, it
No,
would've
Michelle
been
did.
fucking
She was
cool.
fine.
But yeah, they ended up naming the baby
Jesus.
Jocelyn,
Yep.
and now we still got a few more years of
Captivity
Shit.
to go. Yeah, for sure. So Joey, this dude is like taking the baby out and showing this baby off. I mean, you want to talk about fucking pompous and fucking hubris. I mean, Jesus.
yeah. I mean, it's not to the point that Brian Muhammad, whatever that dude was that took Elizabeth Smart.
Oh.
To me, that's the craziest shit. Like, he would bring her everywhere. Anyway, he would bring his daughter,
Right.
is what it is,
Right.
out and about, and he would show her to people and be like, yeah, this, and she called him daddy and everything else. I mean,
He said it
this
was
girl
his
there for-
girlfriend's child, didn't he say
Yeah.
that? Something like
Yeah.
that.
And this girl had been with him all 10 years of her first 10 years of her life, so she didn't know any different. So for her, this was her dad, which, I mean, it's so fucked up. He
It
doesn't
is.
even deserve to be called the dad,
no,
But,
not at all.
It's horrible.
But there was also, I saw other cases.
He's
like
not
they were
even a
talking
sperm
to-
donor. He's a sperm enforcer.
Right?
Yeah. But I saw some, like, afterwards, like, some of the neighbors talking about every now and then they would see her out, like, in the yard playing and
Right.
stuff like that. So it wasn't like he was completely trying to hide her. at
No,
all.
she had like free reign of the house. She was out
Yeah.
and running around inside and downstairs.
I gotta wonder if in the long term his plan was, like Chris, I think you're right. I think they were saying that it was a girlfriend's kid, but the more people would see it, the more they would get used to seeing it
Right,
around. So by
hiding
the
in
time
plain sight.
Right, so by the time she's older, then she can be around regularly because he'll be like, oh yeah, now she just stays with me or whatever.
Right.
I'm sure it was all part of a premeditated plan in his mind.
Yeah, and I don't know how long into the captivity the baby was born, so she wasn't there for the full 10 years. I don't.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
that's-
I think 5 or 6 when,
Right.
because she had started school. Because remember the mom
Yeah.
was doing the school there.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
she was
But-
young.
but-
She was young when they all escaped. Yeah, like you said. Like
Yeah,
they were
but
five.
but all her beginning years though, all she
We're
knew
with
was
him.
that life.
Yeah, in this crazy
And-
situation.
And let me also say this is also another like what you were just saying, how she taught the kid and schooled the kid while she was there, and that's awesome that in that situation they still did what they could to make the child grow up,
right, and have some knowledge
and,
about.
and if we do the Fritzl case, Joseph
Oh, my
Fritzl,
Oh
God.
yeah.
when we talk about that his daughter did an amazing job of that with her
Hugely
children that she
fucking-
had down there.
Yeah,
So,
I got a book on him as well. I'm definitely going to check it
Yeah.
out, and definitely he's on the big list. So these are just absolutely horrible conditions, but Amanda manages to make it seem as much like school as she can. So Jocelyn actually has that experience. So she teaches her to read and write, and they like walk to school around the room, and it's sad, but I mean, she tried to make it, the bus ride and singing on the bus.
I'm
and
thinking
stuff
about
like
that. She was, okay, we'll say 17 because she got abducted the day before her 17th birthday.
Right.
So she was still in school herself when she got abducted. So
Right.
she's like, I want you to have that experience that I fucking had.
Right.
As a
It's just
child.
commendable, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really amazing. So one day, Castro leaves the house. Jocelyn went upstairs and told her mom that he had just left.
He's like, she's
So-
like, Dad went to Grandma's house. Dad went to Grandma's house.
Yeah, so Amanda's got a decision to make, and she took the chance and said, fuck it, and she tries to escape. And it would be a choice that would pay off huge in the end, and it had to be fucking unbelievably fucking scary to do this. Not knowing if this motherfucker's going to come back any second. As you said, he was at his mom's. Remember, he told the girls he would kill their families if they tried to escape, so there's a lot on the
Right.
line.
And there were other times that he fucking set them up where he left a door
Right.
unlocked and waited on them.
Yep.
And when they came out, he beat the fuck out of them.
Right.
And so the whole time she's doing this, she was like,
Is this
man,
a
I don't know
trick?"
if this is one of those times.
Right.
And she
Yeah.
was so fucking worried, but she made it to that front door.
Yeah.
And that had never happened before like that. So.
Yeah, so Chris, what happens, man? This is May 2015.
So yeah, she she checks out the window after Jocelyn's talking about Dad told me to come and stay up here or whatever. So she's like, well, fuck, this is one of those tricks because he did the mind tricks all the time.
Right.
But she looks out the window and sees his fucking car is gone. She's like, I might as well take this fucking shot. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? He's going to beat me or kill me. This
Right.
This is no kind of life.
Yeah, this is it, man.
Fucking
Because they
so-
were sensing something drastic was going to happen with him. All three of the girls had said that there was like this feeling in the air like something was going to snap. And so Amanda's like, I got to do this now or I might not ever get out of here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she fucking she's able to get to she gets to the door and come to find out that door is actually unlocked. So, I mean, that's going to make you think twice again like, oh, is he tricking me? Like, did he leave this door unlocked on purpose for me to fucking be able to try and get out? Well, the next door is totally locked from the outside or whatever, but she's able to see through. And she sees old fucking Charles Ramsey and a couple
Right.
friends next door. He's eating his fucking Big Mac, whatever, fucking. But she's able to fucking get her arm out and start screaming, "Hey, I'm Amanda fucking, why can't I say the last
Amanda
name?
Berry.
Yeah, I'm Amanda Berry. Come help me, whatever." And they're everybody's looking over like, "What the fuck
Amanda
is that?"
Berry.
Yeah, and they walk over there and they see this and they're like, I need out of here. I've been kidnapped, whatever. I've been here for 10 years, whatever. So they're like, just break the glass. And I guess the big glass on top was like super thick. She couldn't break it. And so Charles is like, kick the bottom fucking panel. It'll break. So
Right.
she starts kicking it from her side. He starts kicking it from his side and it starts busting the frame out. And she's able to fucking squeeze through, reach back and grab Jocelyn and fucking get
Right.
out. Fucking
Unbelievable.
goddamn gets on 911 and is like epic from here on
Yeah.
out. Fucking
Yeah,
just
I'm
like,
Amanda Berry, and I've been, to the last 10 years
Yeah,
and
last
all
10
this.
years I've been
there
out.
were also women across the street that heard the screaming, but Charles was like right the fuck on it, and he's quite the character.
And previous to them escaping, the fucking whole thing with the cops incidents, there was multiple times the cops had been called there. Like when they saw Jocelyn, like in the window, a neighbor saw Jocelyn or whatever in the window, and they're like, "Wait, what the fuck is that? That ain't right. I've never seen." Like it was like Michelle holding Jocelyn or something in the window,
Oh.
and they called the cops. And there was another time when somebody said that they saw a naked woman with a fucking dog collar and a leash in the backyard gating, and another time 3 of them in the back with dog collar and chains getting
Oh, I
abused.
remember that. Yeah.
And fucking, they called the cops, but the cops come to the house, beat on the door for a little bit. Nobody answers, so they leave and never fucking come back to check it out. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're getting multiple calls of this kind of thing going on,
Right.
you think the cops would check it out more than they did. Because
Yeah.
you knock on the door a few times, nobody answered, leave.
Right. That's not following through.
Right,
man.
not at all.
That's weak. And we hear that a lot in these cases where, there's some slip ups. And I know the police aren't perfect, but this just sounds like laziness. Now, Joey, this shit is crazy because she's on 911. She's reporting this in, and Charles Ramsey's the fucking hero here, man. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, he fucking got that door open, got them out. She fucking ran across the street, got on a phone, and immediately called 911. She's telling them, I'm Amanda Berry, I'm free,
Right.
I'm out. The fucking dispatcher, like, they're a little, they got to make sure this is some real shit first.
Right.
Yeah, not like a fucking joke. Somebody's like wanting to fuck. I mean,
Right.
her mom's dead already, so they didn't fuck with her mom. But
Still.
still, there's other family out
people
there.
know who this is,
Right.
so the people are fucked up. But I love that quote, though. What was that quote from Charles Ramsey? He said about how he knew it was the real thing.
Yeah, he said, something's wrong here when a little pretty white girl runs into a black man's arms. Dead giveaway.
Yeah, and they took that dead giveaway and they turned it into a song, like, to music.
Did
It's
they
pretty
really?
funny.
Yeah.
And he was laughing about it. He's like, all I did was just say dead giveaway, and they did this.
Like I heard of on something, I can't remember what it was, but the 911 call. He's like, I don't even know who this person is. I've only lived here for a year. This is all
Right.
fucking.
Yeah, he
This
was
is
like
crazy.
2 doors down, I
Yeah,
think.
something like that. But like,
Wow. So
that's
what a
like
hero.
one of the best 911 calls ever, dude.
Yeah.
I got one qualm with the 911 call that rubs me the wrong way.
What's that?
What's that?
Now, I'm not saying that we've heard the entire. I don't know if I've heard the entire thing,
Right.
or if they just played snippets of it. But I mean, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's an amazing 911 call. Everything. But the whole time that she gets out, tells him who she is, she's like, you got to get back here because he could get back at any time, this. She never, ever, ever once said that there were two
No,
other
never
girls in the
once.
house
Exactly.
over there.
Yes. Well, on her.
And that always rubbed me
Yeah.
some weird way.
She
Like,
never said there's
why
two
wasn't
other
that
females.
one of the first things you said? Yeah, there's two. You got to get here. There's 2 other girls.
Right.
Like, that never ever came
Yeah,
out.
that's a
ever.
good point, Joey. That's a really
Or
good
even
point.
just to Charles Ramsey, because that motherfucker probably would have been busting in there, kicking that door
Right,
in.
that's
fucking,
true.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she never once mentioned that Michelle and Gina were in the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to talk shit. Like,
No, I
it's still
get
like
you.
amazing.
I was thinking the same
and people in the situation, who knows? You know what I'm saying? You got
Right.
to be in that situation. But just from an outsider listening to
Right.
it and researching,
It's hard to believe
I was
you
just
wouldn't say
surprised
that.
by that.
Yeah, I agree.
exactly.
I agree. And I was thinking, Joey, you need to get Charles Ramsey over to the 419, smoke
Yeah,
some
for
bud,
real.
Man.
record a song, a Goremonger song with Charles Ramsey. That'd be the shit.
Cleveland's not that far. Maybe fucking Sick Rick knows them and shit.
There you go. So Charles Ramsey said that Castro would sometimes bring him food, but later on, and it was good food, he said, but he said later on he wondered if he was bringing it over there to like be his guinea pig because the girls would cook for him sometimes. And, he probably wondered if they were going to poison him. So he gives it to the neighbor. And then I think he exchanged it for some McDonald's. So he was all about McDonald's.
loving the
Ariel
McDonald's.
Castro. So speaking of McDonald's, what happens? Frickin' Charles Ramsey winds up getting a free year of food from McDonald's.
McDonald's.
So they were loving all the publicity.
I'm loving it. That's why they got that slogan, ain't it?
There you go. So, I mean, this is like hitting the fucking lottery in the fucking poor neighborhood. This dude, like anybody else. I mean,
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
McDonald's is a shit, So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. I know it's terrible for you, but, that's awesome. So McDonald's steps up, gives them free food for a year. The cops would go into the house, and of course, Michelle and Gina had no idea what was
They're
going
hiding
on.
because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and the cops don't know if like there's other people in like what's going on, so they do their work.
Because she didn't tell them.
Exactly. So they get up.
I don't know. That's mean. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I know, and Joey, I think you're right though, because I don't remember when I read the book, the cops were surprised to see
when they
them
stepped out.
as soon as they were to see the cops. So
And there
I
was,
think you're right, because the 911 could have radioed the cops and said, "There's 2 fucking girls still in that house," But I don't remember that being part of the story. So
There was
Now,
something I had seen though that like how like Michelle kind of separated herself afterwards from those two.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was some kind of resentment there for Amanda not
it's possible.
saying something like, "I took care of your kid
now-
for you." Like, you could have at least let them know that I was still in that fucking house.
Right.
Yeah. Now, it is a possibility. Now, I try to look at it this way, too, that Amanda Berry might have thought, up until the point that everybody was safely out of the house, that she was still in danger of Castro somehow. And if something got fucked up, if she left those girls' names out of it, he wouldn't fuck them up.
Maybe.
For her escaping. You know what I'm saying?
It's possible.
I get what you're saying.
Plus, she's
She might have
so
been trying
caught
to
up
keep
in
him
the
out of it for
moment.
that.
I mean, you said, Chris, it's hard to put yourself in that frame of mind unless you're going through something like that. So, now, Chris, I mean, 10 years he's kept there, but, you know, he warned them not to escape. He's going to hurt their families, and they all do that, you know, to scare them into submission, right?
As far as, like, Amanda and Gina, hurt their family. Michelle, he's just like we said, is like, you ain't got nobody, so I can't hurt you. You're just mine now. You might as well just stay here and let me beat you to death throughout time.
Right.
But yeah, I couldn't even imagine being in that fucking position, dude. 10 years of not even seeing the daylight, really.
Yeah, especially at that age, 10 years is like an eternity.
Right.
I mean, it's a long time, don't get me wrong. But as you get older, time gets quicker. So at that age, that would have been like their lifetime, you know? Now,
yeah, it's like fucking Gina going from 14 to fucking 24 in that fucking hole.
Right, exactly. And Joey, I mean, it was crazy that Charles Ramsey said, you know, how normal Castro was, you know, talking about basketball and the weather. And wow, I mean, just unbelievable how these guys, as we keep saying, you know, just so able to be normal when they needed to be. You know what I mean? Be a normal person.
I don't know. I didn't see a lot about it. I don't know if Castro was like a big alcoholic or anything. Like, I think they'd have some beers and jam out, but I don't know if he was a bad alcoholic. But I thought that might have explained like some of his abuse towards his wife earlier on. But they never really said anything. So
no,
he might just been an angry person. But if alcohol had come into play, that's the kind of shit where you gotta wonder if he would have slipped up and said something to somebody at some point through that, you know?
Right.
So maybe he was a little more sober and fucking clear-minded about what he was doing with it.
Oh yeah, and I mean when this all came out, you know, people are like freaking out that he was a bus driver and around all those kids. And you know, Gina, Amanda, and her daughter Jocelyn had a huge welcome home celebrations, and that was of course all over the news. And Michelle went to the hospital like they all did, but then her mom tried to get a touch with her and she didn't want to talk to her.
Right.
And I don't remember,
like, she didn't really have any visitors. That, like you said, Amanda and Michelle had all kinds of people coming in like, oh my God, this is fine. Michelle didn't have shit.
Right, because they all went to the hospital, and then after they were released, Michelle, I don't remember where she went. I think there was like some sort of like donations, and she was maybe with family. I don't remember. I wish I did. But she is one tough son of a bitch. I mean, seriously, to put up with what she put up with and still telling him to fuck off, that's awesome. And Chris, how does the trial end up for Ariel Castro, man?
Well, he got like 900 plus charges put against him.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. Almost 1,000 fucking different charges put up against him.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
He ended up pleading guilty. He was pleading not guilty for a while, but then he ended up pleading guilty. He pled out or whatever. But he got life in prison. But he also got 1,000 years added onto that.
Just
in case something happens. You got to serve this 1,000 years as well.
Yeah, you're not fucking going anywhere.
Pretty fucking fucked, which it doesn't matter in the end. Like,
no, it doesn't. We're going to get to that here, but wow. I mean,
I could be wrong, but I think this was the largest case in Cleveland history.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
The most expensive.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Yeah. Now, Joey, do you know anything about how the girls are doing that after their ordeal? I mean, anything current?
Yeah, they all separated ways. Like, they didn't like stay with each other.
Right.
They did their own thing. But Michelle Knight, she actually goes by the name Lily Rose Lee.
Right.
Oh.
She wrote a couple memoirs. Her first one was called Finding Me, and was actually a New York Times bestseller in 2014. And then in 2018, she released her second one, Life After Darkness.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she did end up, meeting somebody. She met a man named Miguel Rodriguez.
Yeah, she got married.
She married him on May 6, 2016, which was the 3rd anniversary of their freedom from Castro's house.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's awesome, man.
She travels around the globe and speaks publicly with Lily's Ray of Hope Foundation, supporting women and girls who were victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, and child abuse. So she's done a lot, I mean, she also did a lot with fostering rescue animals. That was a big thing that she really got into.
Right.
Oh, yeah, was that... Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking animal scene. Let me throw that in there. The rescue animal. Because you remember fucking Castro fucking gave her that fucking puppy. That pit bull puppy, dude. And she raised that thing fucking and trained it and everything. And motherfucker, he came in to fucking attack her one time, and that dog fucking tried to protect her, and he snapped that dog's neck right in front of her. And that devastated her, dude.
That's right. I forgot about that. Jesus.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Well, good for her, man.
So, yeah. So, that's good to hear that. Amanda Berry, she actually turned her attention to spotlighting missing people in Northeast Ohio area. Of course, when she was in Castro's home, he let her watch, news segments, the people looking for her and all that, and that definitely did a lot to her brain and made her want to help people in that situation, because she was like, what the fuck? People looking for us, and I want people to still be able to find us. She got a lot more done with searching and help from the police, obviously, than Michelle did, and that sucked, as we said. But, at least in this situation, she turned her attention to trying to help the people that didn't have somebody looking for them.
Right.
She did continue to raise her child, of course.
She didn't care about... She's like, no, that's my fucking kid.
Yeah, and she said she's a great child. She's a happy child.
Good.
Very smart. Yeah, it's pretty wild. She works with Fox 8 out of that area on a segment called Missing that focuses on, finding people that aren't there and trying to help out exactly like her foundation does. And
that's great, man.
It's cool that she still does that. And her daughter Jocelyn celebrated her 16th birthday in 2023.
Wow.
Which, of course, was the age that Barry was when she was captured.
Right.
So
wow.
She gave her daughter a huge sweet 16th
I can only
party,
imagine, dude.
Which is something that she always wanted to do,
That's cool.
She said that everything in her life is the focus of normalcy for her daughter, and she will do everything in her power to make sure that remains the case. So that's pretty awesome.
That is.
Gina De Jesus, she was the youngest, and she ended up moving in with a tight-knit family in the suburbs of Cleveland. She works with an agency called the Northeast Ohio Amber Alert Committee, and she does work with survivors and their family members. She's an asset to the team. She's gotten a lot of recognition there from the company. And I don't know, she just wants to do something to give back to the community.
That's awesome.
Fucking badass.
Yeah, like I said, they all kind of split ways a little bit.
But they're still doing the same type of thing, even though they're separate.
Right.
They're still working toward the same goal, helping people in that situation.
And one thing De Jesus was talking about in 2018, she said that she wants to help families because my family didn't have anything. They didn't get help. She said, my parents didn't have people actually helping them with all the flyers and stuff. We could do that for other families that don't have that instead of them worrying and freaking out.
That's
about
badass.
It. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're all doing good stuff. So
that's awesome.
Shout out to them.
That's awesome. And then, of course, the best ending of all, I guess, is that 1 month into his life sentence, Castro is at the reception unit there in Orient, Ohio, and he's found hanging in his fucking cell. So I am blown away that this even happened. Like, how the fuck does this guy have a fucking sheet on his bed?
I mean,
you would think,
not give them covers.
I know, but I mean, the suicide watch thing, like, I don't know. But I guess if there's a will, there's a way. And he definitely didn't want to be there anymore. So,
well, I mean, I did see a couple things that it was because of his sexual appetite, it was autoerotic asphyxiation. Like he was.
Oh.
I did see that. I mean, I doubt it's true. He probably just like, fuck this. I'm fucking killing myself.
Yeah, because he was
Why-
like going nuts. He was walking around in his cell naked,
Right,
and,
he was
crazy.
complaining about the quality of his conditions in the food after the 10 years of shit he put these.
Right.
He's bitching about this shit.
Yeah.
He's probably like, damn, how did these bitches are tough because
Exactly.
I can't deal with this.
I
Fuck
can't.
this.
I need a fucking Big Mac, man.
Yeah.
So he's 53, dies, his body's cremated. So I'm just amazed that he wasn't watched more closely.
I really am too.
Yeah. Now, Joey, what about one of the daughters of him? Wasn't she also involved in a situation and got some pretty significant prison time there in Indiana?
Fuck yeah, she did. His daughter, Emily Castro. Now, this happened before the escape and freeing of the girls. But Emily Castro, when she was 19, she took her baby out in a garage and cut her throat with a knife.
Right.
Then she tried to cut her own throat and wrists and tried to drown herself. She had a history of mental illness. The family, said that was true, and it didn't matter though, because she ended up getting a 25-year sentence in Indiana for the attempted murder of her baby. So,
Wow.
That was fucked up, and so she was already locked up when he got arrested.
That's right.
But yeah, it's just apple don't fall too far.
No,
right?
shit apple fall from the shit tree, like Jim Leahy would say, right? So this was such a fascinating case. Ariel Castro, definitely a monster, and put those girls through an ordeal. I'm amazed that all three of them came out swinging and are still doing well. I'm just amazed the fucking guy wasn't put on suicide watch, because I would have loved to have just watched him rot to death in that cell and be miserable. But that reminds me in a way of what happened with David Parker Ray, Toy Box Killer.
Right.
Dies of a heart attack when he gets to prison. I mean,
Like, dude,
fuck
you
that.
didn't even
you
get
know?
to, you didn't even serve.
Yeah,
one
he was
time.
in county, but that's nothing
Yeah,
compared to fucking state prison. So, yeah, this guy fucking got away with this shit, but, at least he's off the planet and he's not going to hurt anybody else ever.
And these ladies are fucking alive and striving.
Yeah, and doing really well. But living a long life in a prison cell, I think that's got to be the worst. So those two got off easy for sure. But anything to add to this one, guys? We're at an hour and a half on Ariel Castro, but there's a lot to cover with it, and I think
There's a whole lot more if you guys. There's a lot more.
There is. I mean, I had to pare the story down
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it work, but for sure, the book I'm going to talk about here. But Joey, did you have anything you wanted to add to this?
Yeah, two things I was going to say. One, sometimes whenever I was watching some research on this, and I'd heard it before whenever the case broke, but some of the reporters and stuff refer to them as the Ohio slave girls, and I just think that's kind of fucking
I don't like
a little
that.
bogus to call
No,
that.
that's
But
fucked up.
I am going to write a song called that. But it is fucked up. But that is so weird to me that in the press they would refer.
I
to that.
agree.
That's fucked up.
And then the other thing I was going to say is that whenever Castro got sentenced, whenever he gave his final statements, he fucking talked to the court and to the fucking victims' families and shit, telling them how fucking he was so sorry for what he did, but he still had nothing but love for them, and he loved his child.
The harmony
the shit
in the
that
home.
he was saying.
He said there was a lot of
my
harmony
God.
in the home
Yeah.
and shit.
Watching his final state, like, people should check that
Yeah.
out, because it is goddamn ridiculous.
It
Like,
is.
holy
And
shit,
Michelle
what a piece of
Knight's
shit.
victim impact statement was epic,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
She went in there and
Yes.
fucking threw down. And I just have nothing but respect for all of them, but especially Michelle. That's fucking cool. Now I watched several different videos. There was a 60 Minutes Australia episode, which was really good. And the book that I read was called The Lost Girls by John Glatt, which was very good. I always wish I could time it better, because doing these episodes every week, it's really tough to keep up. And with this one, I read the book like 2 months ago, and a lot of the little detail stuff I don't remember.
Yeah, it happens.
It's just tough.
We're not trying to give all the little details. Y'all figure it out.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. Interviews with the girls. Charles Ramsey, great interview. There was one he did with Amanda, which was awesome. And she gave him a clock that she wanted him to remember. Something about that she gave him back, or he gave her back time or something.
Right.
Very, very cool, very, very heartfelt, really a good interview. And all that stuff's on YouTube. But it's amazing to think, you could rebound from something so fucking terrible. But next week, we're going to do it a little bit different, doing the dad theme. But this time, we're doing a feature on Lionel Dahmer, who's, of course,
Hell,
Jeffrey
Not the murderer.
Dahmer's dad, right? And Joey, you suggested this one, telling it from that vantage point, which I think's interesting. And he's been very vocal, Lionel Dahmer. He wrote a book and done lots of interviews and stuff. So that should be interesting.
Like the father or the parent of a fucking prolific serial killer.
Yeah.
Like their thought, like what is going on in their fucking head? Like
that's pretty
what
heavy
did
shit.
I do
That's
for this to
fascinating.
happen to my child?
Right. You feel like, exactly. How you're blaming yourself for what happened, right? So that should be good. And then, Joey, any page of days for us?
Fuck yeah. Now, we've been off for a couple weeks, so there was a bunch I could sift through, but I whittled it down to 2, and one's shorter, one's a little longer, but these are some fucking good ones.
Okay.
Like, these are 2 women cases, so they were probably on the same shit we were in May with the moms,
Right.
But no, both of these are a pretty good case. So the first one, the shorter one, this is about Beverly Allett, who was an angel of death. Of course, there's a few of those.
Right.
So, over the course of 59 days in early 1991, while working at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital in Lincolnshire, England, Beverly Allett killed 4 children between the ages of 7 weeks and 11 years and attempted to murder 9 more. Nurse Allett injected the children with large doses of insulin, causing cardiac arrest. She also injected several of the survivors with insulin multiple times after they'd been resuscitated, intent on killing the children while they were under her care. Allett's third victim, 2-month-old Becky Phillips, was murdered on April 1st, though her twin sister, Katie, survived 2 insulin overdoses.
Jesus Christ.
She sustained permanent brain and nerve damages. Staff at the hospital became suspicious on the uptick of cardiac arrest in the pediatric ward, you think?
Yeah.
And then and were notified, and then they notified the police, so an investigation led to Allett, and she was the only nurse on duty at the time of the murders, plus she had access to the drugs. So, during questioning, she admitted to all 13 attacks. She was charged with 4 counts of murder, 11 counts of attempted murder, and 11 counts of causing grievous bodily harm. A psychologist diagnosed her with Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but of course that didn't really fucking stand with the court, and they said that she was still fit to stand trial. She was found guilty on all charges on May 28, 1993, and sentenced to 13 life sentences. In 2007, it was confirmed that her minimum sentence was 30 years, and then she makes headlines again in February 2021 when she received the COVID-19 vaccine in prison in the UK ahead of Katie Phillips, the victim who she permanently disabled.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's fucked up.
So that was Beverly Allett, an angel of death.
Yeah.
So this second one, now this is a fucking good one. This is about a lady named Amelia Dyer, and she was in the baby farming business. So she's
think
training
I've
to be
heard
a
of this
corset. Yeah, she's good. So she's training to be a corset maker in Reading, England, and she gets married in 1861. So she shifts careers and she becomes a psychiatric nurse. Now, through nursing, she meets midwife Ellen Dane, who taught her the business of baby farming. Now, this is when you accept custody of an infant or a young child in exchange for payment. Now, this was common in Britain at the time. In 1834, Poor Law Amendment Act had removed any obligation for men to support illegitimate children, and the social stigma around single motherhood made it impossible for a mother that was unwed to support her baby. So rates were charged by baby farmers ranging from £5, which is about $500 today, but babies that were that was for like babies of impoverished mothers. But the more affluent families, you could get up to 50 pounds for them because of the stigma of having
the
the
money
fucking-
and shit. Yeah.
Right. So most babies taken in by baby farmers died of starvation or were otherwise murdered. To actually take care of a child using the lump sum of the baby farmer that they charge, that actually prevents them from turning a profit, so fuck that. So you got to get rid of the kid.
Right.
Amanda Dyer was about to become the most prolific baby farmer in history. Amelia Dyer. So shortly after Amelia Dyer and Ellen Dane met, Dane fled to the U.S. to escape consequences for her murderous baby farming activities. But what that did was left the market wide open for Amelia.
Oh, my God.
So she comes in. She needs money because her husband dies in 1869. She takes out advertisements in the local paper offering to nurse and adopt babies for a fee. She initially neglected the babies she adopted, leaving them to die of starvation. But she realized her profits would increase if she sped up their murders. So she remarries,
God.
has 2 children of her own, who she would later allege knew nothing of the deadly business. A doctor becomes concerned with the number of babies that died in her care,
think?
and he alerted the police. So she was arrested in 1879, but only charged with the neglect, and she was sentenced to 6-month hard labor, which she did. She was released, and she attempted to go back to nursing, but she found that the baby farming business was a little bit easier to get back into. So now she's like, okay, fuck this. Fuck the involvement of doctors. I'm going to dispose of the babies' bodies myself. And she threw a bunch of them in the Thames River in weighted bags and boxes. And then she became quite adept at evading the law. For more than a decade, babies just continued to die in her care.
Oh, my God, dude.
She did this with... Now, while she's doing this and evading the law and killing all these babies, she's also doing several stints in asylums due to purportedly poor mental health, though the purpose of these hospitalizations is debated because they always seem to coincide whenever there were investigations into her business. So
Wow.
she probably used the knowledge that she gleaned from her time as a psychiatric nurse to live comfortably in the asylums while she waited for the legal troubles to pass. However, Amelia's mother had a history of mental illness that could have been passed down, so it's possible. Plus, Amelia, she was addicted to alcohol and opium, which may have contributed to her own mental health issues.
Damn.
Whatever the case, her time in asylums prolonged her baby farming business until April 1896, when finally a bargeman retrieved a parcel floating in the Thames River. They found the remains of Helena Fry, which is one of Amelia's victims, inside of there. Barely visible on the parcel was the name and address that led the police to her. So she threw the parcel in there with her shit on there.
It's like Crafts, man, with the fucking mail in her pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fucking brutal. Wow.
So they lack enough evidence to arrest her, so they pose as a mother that's looking to place her baby. When Amelia opens the door to meet the mother at the arranged time the police are waiting for her, they raid her house, and they're immediately met with the stench of decomposition, although they didn't find any bodies on the premises. They did find the white edging tape that she had used, and later she confessed that that was her trademark, and telegrams referencing adoptions, letters from mothers asking about their babies, pawn tickets for infant clothing, and receipts for classified ads.
Jesus.
Amelia was arrested on April 4th, 1896. The Thames River was dragged several times that month, and 6 more bodies were found. Amelia pleaded guilty to 1 count of murder, but claimed insanity to avoid the death sentence. The prosecution successfully argued that she had fabricated symptoms to be sent to the asylum so she could evade a capture. So she was hanged on June 10th, 1896. And just like other serial killer Martha Needle's last words, hers were, "I have nothing to say."
Wow.
Now, though Amelia Dyer was hanged for the murder of 1 baby, it is believed that she may have killed more than 400, making her one of the most prolific serial killers. And after her capture, adoption laws became stricter, and classified ads were monitored more closely to prevent abuse.
Wow.
It took many additional reforms to see baby farms decline, and finally they were kicked out and regulated by the UK government in 1937. Amelia was dubbed an ogress, and they had a popular murder ballad about her, and it said, "The old baby farmer, the wretched Miss Dyer, at the Old Bailey her wages is paid, in times long ago, we'd make a big fire and roasted so nicely that wicked old jade.
Wow.
So that was Amelia Dyer.
Damn,
So-
she is on. I'm pretty sure she's on the list, and I actually sent a message to myself to make sure.
Yeah.
That's a must do for us. That would be a good page a day generated story.
And really quick, I just wanted to bring this guy up because I wanted to ask you guys about him, but I saw Acid Witch play a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and they brought this. They do a song about this dude, Ronald Clark O'Brien. Have you heard of this guy? He was nicknamed the Candyman, and he was also nicknamed the man who killed Halloween. And he was convicted of killing his 8-year-old son Timothy on Halloween 1974 with a potassium cyanide-laced pixie stick that he was abstemiously collecting during a trick-or-treat outing. And this happened down in Texas, and he was in Huntsville, Texas, so I thought if Tex knew about this one,
okay.
maybe he could say something to us. But anyway, Acid Witch brought it up. I was like, man, I never heard of that dude, Pixie Stick Killer.
Yeah.
That's probably a reason that the fucking the scare of fucking candy.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's
watch
very
your kids'
possible.
Halloween candy,
1974.
fucking,
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, page a day, always a good one. And we have done plenty of murder and madness tonight, so let's crank up the fucking metal. And Joey, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's hear about Toxic Holocaust, House.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you. All right, forever the great metal motherfucker, CK. Of course, here in the studio, the great CCK, Cardboard CK.
Always.
Horns high, keeping those poser geists away. All right, Chris, we got we take turns with the horns.
Yes,
And I'm
sir.
passing you the
I got
goat
fucking
horns.
horns right here in my hand.
Fuck yeah! So
Hail
that means
Satan.
it's your turn, and you had to pick the topic for the metal segment. So.
I did. And tonight I picked Toxic Holocaust.
Oh yeah.
Now, I did some fucking looking around, and like, there's not a whole lot of biography stuff on these guys. Well, we'll get into that a little bit. When I say these guys, but yeah. So Toxic Holocaust is a fucking got a thrash / crossover thrash band from Portland, Oregon. They were formed in fucking 1999 by Joel Grind, which is fucking badass.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
Fuck yeah,
cool.
dude. Now, it's a one-man project. I did
Pretty
not.
much.
I did not know that until I actually was like, yeah, I'll do fucking, because I dig the music. I was like, yeah, I did not realize that. I was like, oh shit, it's fucking one-man shit. That's badass. So, he put out fucking demo called Radiation. Hold on. Let me get my fucking shit straight here. I fucked my notes up a little bit. But yeah, anyway, fucking Radiation Sickness in 1999 was the demo that he put out. And then he put out his first fucking full-length fucking Critical Mass. And now mind you, it's just like Joey recording everything himself. Now, no offense, Joey, but he's playing actual drums as well and shit. And fucking yeah, no offense, you know that. So his first full length was Evil Never Dies, came out in 2003. No, wait, sorry, Critical Mass in 2002. Man, I fucked my shit all up. Man. Okay, there it is. Yeah, his first full length. God damn, was Critical Mass in 2002. He did like a couple of years of fucking touring around with fucking other musicians that he obviously, you got to have other musicians to play like actual instruments, obviously. So he did a couple of years of touring with fucking other musicians, and then his second full length was in 2005, and it was fucking called Hell on Earth. And again, he wrote and recorded the album by himself, as then got musicians just to come out and just fucking take tours with him and shit.
Right, hired guns to play.
Basically. I mean, I can't think. There was a list of fucking names. I didn't write down all the list of names of fucking other musicians he got, because that's like a laundry list of names.
I did see that one drummer, Al Positions.
Al Positions, right?
I thought that was pretty funny, because when I read it, I thought it said all positions. I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty good.
All positions. And then in 2008, he put out his third full-length album called An Overdose of Death, which I think is a fucking badass band name, because your fucking, or album name, not band name, but yeah, badass, just a badass album in general too. Fucking like every one of the fucking albums are fucking amazing. It's just fucking just heavy thrash, fucking great vocals, guitar playing, just shreds. Fucking
I dig them.
Yeah, they're fucking badass. And then in 2011, the fourth album called Conjuring Command, which is like, that's another great album. It's like, you conjure forth these demons, now you command these demons. That's the way I looked at it in my head.
Right.
I think it's great. And then in 2013, the fifth one is Chemistry of Consciousness. And then in 2019, he put out Primal Future 2019. He put it out in 2019. And then he set up a bunch of tour dates or whatever, but obviously that shit canceled.
Right.
Everything got canceled in 2020. Everything. Yeah. So, yeah. And then, like I said, I don't have a whole lot. They're just a badass fucking band.
Yeah,
they're heavy
cool
as shit. They shred. They rip. The current lineup as of now is fucking Joel Grind, because it's his fucking his shit. Fucking Joel Grind on vocals and bass, and then you got Tyler Becker on drums, and Eric Eisenhower on guitars and backing vocals. And they're still active right now. Fucking, I think I saw not that long ago, they were just out on a fucking tour doing some shit.
Huh.
Not that long ago, like a month or so.
That's cool.
But fucking, if you haven't heard of Toxic Holocaust, they're just a straight heavy ass thrash band that fucking just shreds everything. Go check them out. They're fucking dope.
Awesome. And I got the Lost Classic this week, and my selection is Fate's Warning, Awaken the Guardian. It came out in 1986. Very influential album for me as a bass player, playing in a progressive metal band at the time. And so a huge influence. And it came out at a time of my life that I was, really, going through some stuff. And so it's just one of those ones you remember it,
Right.
Because at the time of your life and that sort of thing. So Awaken the Guardian, Fate's Warning, great album. And probably because I was talking to my buddy Joe DeBias, who's the bass player from Fate's Warning for like the first 14 years. And that was one, of course, that he was on. So
fucking right.
So what have we been listening to lately, Chris? Anything jumping out other than Toxic Holocaust?
I almost said Toxic Ruin, because I was debating on which one to do, honestly. But anyway, yeah, Toxic Holocaust and Toxic Ruin as well. But the other day I was jamming the self-titled Slipknot album. I don't care what anybody says. That album's fucking heavy as shit to me. I fucking love it. It's fucking deep. And what else was I listening to the other day? Extermination Dismemberment, because I can never fucking not listen to those guys. Obviously, I've already covered them. Nothing really new at the moment. Fucking just jamming music like always, man.
That's cool. What about you, Joey?
I actually been listening to a bunch of old school shit. I've been listening to a ton of Black Sabbath.
Nice.
I was listening to Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic.
Which Black Sabbath, Joey, do you like right now and at this stage of your life?
Mostly, I've always been a huge Ozzy fan. So what happened is I fucking got my CDs all out now, and I've got them on display, and I noticed that a lot of my Black Sabbaths, I don't really have them, but I got them on cassette, but not on CD. And, man, you can find fucking Sabbath discs, like, their albums for, like, $3 at the fucking pawn shop.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so I bought, like, everything from fucking the self-titled all the way up until fucking Technical Ecstasy.
Nice.
So I've been jamming those.
Yeah, I love Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Sabotage. Those are two of my favorites, man. Love it.
Like,
and, of course, Paranoid. I mean, how can you not? I mean, I love all of them, but I love the Ozzy Sabbath, too.
You know what one of my favorite non-Ozzy Sabbath albums is Dehumanizer.
Yeah,
that's a good one,
awesome
man.
That fucking album's badass, man.
Oh, it's a good one. So that's cool. Yeah, I've been jamming Fate's Warning, as I mentioned. Laceration, the album Demise. Joey, you'll like this one, Anthrax Among the Living.
Yes.
And then a new band I just stumbled upon yesterday called Feral. They're from Sweden, and their album Flesh for Funerals Eternal is fucking vicious. And then Where Dead Dreams Dwell, I listened to that one today. Really good old school death metal, but Feral, really dig those guys. And I went about a month where I didn't buy any shirts. And last night on Bandcamp, I bought a Feral shirt.
All right.
Nice.
Gotta support it, though. Gotta support it. And they got a new split coming out. I'm trying to get a hold of them to see if they want to do an interview. But yeah, really good band. So check them out. Joey, you got the horns next, dude. What are you doing? Do you have any ideas yet?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Cancer.
Nice.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
Hell yeah. James Murphy.
Been jamming them a little bit lately, too. I didn't mention it because I wanted to say that's what I'm doing next. But yeah, Cancer's going to be my next segment.
Excellent. What about the distro, Joey? Anything new with that?
Man, fucking hit me up if you want anything Goremonger, any of the CDs. That's all I really have right now, but pretty soon I'll be restocking some other stuff. My shows kind of wiped me out, but that's...
Right.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good thing, dude.
Yeah, and in the episode description, I'll link to that, so if you're listening and want to get a hold of Joey about some of his distro, all that grindcore, porno grind, death metal, whatever, he's down. So I'll link to that.
If anybody's curious, though, I do have some new Goremonger that's going to be in the works. I had done an EP that I had intentionally meant to be for a split with a band out of Australia, and the label just kind of fucking flaked out on it, and everything was fucking weird.
That sucks.
I've been sitting on that, so I'm going to release that digitally for free for everybody to listen to. The Bass God EP, which actually fucking we played 2 of the songs here on Murder Mill Mayhem.
Right.
But that's like the last shit that I did from Illinois, and then this new shit that I'm doing is going to be the first shit that I did since I've lived in Ohio, and the album's just going to be called Porno Grind, and it's going to be like, I'm going to take like the the Venom black metal album, I'm going to take the Dominus face and I'm going to make it a little more vaginal, so that's just like an idea.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, so but that one I'll put with the Bass God EP and release that as a physical album together later on. But so some stuff in the works, but yeah.
Yeah, very cool. All right, that 666 Club is also very cool. That's a way you can join our Patreon for $3 a month.
That.
Yeah, patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem. I'll link to that in the episode description. Get some cool shit. Episodes early, discounts on merch. Just a good club to be in. So, all right, well, we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Chris, what the fuck are we going to do?
Let's get our mayhem on, motherfuckers.
Strike for the Holy One, now it's time to die.
Hi, Hernandez Marital Counseling, a division of Benoit Anger Management. How can I help you?
I've been stuck in this house with this bitch for a fucking month thinking goddamn coronavirus. Fuck that shit. I fucking hate that goddamn beer anyway. Give me a goddamn Modelo.
Are you okay, sir? It sounds like quite the commotion going on over there.
Oh my god, she's going fucking crazy, man. She plays roller derby on Friday nights at the Legion. Oh my fucking Christ, she's coming at me with a goddamn knife, dude. Fuck!
We're offering our NFL special this month. That stands for Nice Fucking Life. We want you to have a nice fucking life here at Hernandez Marital Counseling.
Oh my God. I did not listen to that before I just threw it in there. I knew it, it's fucking 3 years ago, but wow. My wife doing the receptionist there and Chris calling in. A little distress there. Hernandez Marital Counseling. So, and before that, Toxic Holocaust with Nuke the Cross.
Nuke the Cross.
That shit reminds me of Old Venom and Sodom together. Fucking killer. Definitely old school. And I think I read something where he was very influenced by both those bands.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Very cool shit. Yeah, that was a good one, Chris. Definitely liked hearing about that. All right. Killer cage match, guys. But before that, I want to talk about Joey's trip to Pittsburgh. Joey, how did that go?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So fucking Stephanie and I, we went over to Pittsburgh for a horror convention this weekend called the Living Dead Fest. Now, Pittsburgh and the area is where George Romero's from. That's where Tom Savini came out of. It's just a hot spot for horror from back in that time. So anyway, the place that they held the convention at was in the mall, the Monroeville Mall, which was where Dawn of the Dead was shot. So all that, you were right there in the middle of it. The place was dope. Yeah, and they shot they've done a couple other movies there. They shot some scenes from Zack and Mary Make a Porno and fucking I can't remember something else. Fucking, but Flashdance. They recorded the fucking skate scene in the fucking center of their fucking thing for Flashdance back in the day. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead was shot there. They got this fucking store
the Dawn
called
of the Dead with Ving Rhames.
No.
Okay. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah. With Ken Foray.
Okay. All right.
So yep. So they shot that there. They do the convention there. They got a store there called the Living Dead Store, and that was sweet. It's upstairs, and they sell just a bunch of zombie stuff, a lot of Dawn of the Dead. But they also got a little museum that you can go in, and I think it was $8 a piece, and it was pretty cool. But you go in, and they got scenes and props and stuff from the Night of the Living Dead movies and the Dawn of the Dead movies. They got stuff from the Creepshow movies. Of course, George Romero did that, right. And there was significance in the area for that movie. They showed all the dead, Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, all that, all this cool stuff from that. And then they also had the Evil Dead. They had the parts of the cabin from Evil Dead 2, the real one, were on display there, as well as the chainsaw and the shotgun and some other cool things. So that was pretty awesome to see all that.
That's cool.
There's a bust inside of the Monroeville Mall of George A. Romero, which is pretty awesome. That they recognize that.
No, that's fucking sick as shit.
Yeah,
that's cool.
They did a bunch of panels there, and like I said, Ken Foray was there. He was one of the bigger ones. Tom Savini, just a whole bunch of them. So it was the biggest reunion of members from the Living Dead movies that there had ever been. I think it was I can't remember if this was 45th year or something like that.
That's cool.
Pretty awesome. And I got to meet Tom Savini, which is awesome. You just
that was a cool picture.
And you can meet him, but on the way out of the mall on the last day. So the last day that we went in the morning. Not even everything was set up yet. We just wanted to do a quick run through before we took off out of town. and we saw when we were walking out, it was just me and Stephanie and Tom Savini and his, I don't know who she was, his assistant or whoever. They were the only two that were walking in, and they were like walking straight towards us. And I wanted to fanboy out or something, but I just kept my cool and I went the other way. I was like, nah, I fucking keep it a good memory. But anyway, so also while we were there, Pittsburgh's fucking dope. So that was for the convention, but we also got to go to the graveyard where Night of the Living Dead was filmed, and that was Evans City Cemetery, which is a little bit outside of Pittsburgh. If you're ever in the area, like, I highly recommend it. It is so cool, and you see the you can watch YouTube videos to get your bearings on where the markers are, the certain headstones, but they're all still there with the names and everything. So it's so much cooler than any other place that I've gone that was part of a movie set or something like that, because it was still so much like it was back then.
It was just in
you're
color.
Like, just in color, right. So that was cool. There's also 2 murals by an artist named Raymer that are in Pittsburgh that you can find if you look fucking hard enough. One of them is Fluffy from Creepshow that comes out of the crate, and then the other one is of Tom Savini holding the Jason mask, and it's on the whole side of a building. It's fucking pretty impressive.
Wow.
Now, also something that I didn't know until we went there was the whole Creepshow deal, and that the house from the prelude to the original Creepshow,
right,
where the father, fucking abuses his son, steals his comic book, and throws it in the trash.
Throws it in the garbage. Yeah.
Yep. That house is actually there in a town right around the area. So I got to go to that. Me and Stephanie, and somebody obviously lives there, but it's still cool. They've got it set up like they got the pumpkin in the window, like it's in the movie, and then they got the mailbox outside, and they tell you to check that because that's where they got like the little pamphlet about it and stuff.
Oh, so they got it set up as an attraction.
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Nice.
and they got a garbage can there with the Creepshow comic inside it.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, they got a guest list.
I
like,
saw the pictures.
That,
I thought that you had like brought the comic book with you or some shit.
No, they had that there as a prop, so it was really, really cool. Like,
that is cool.
They were just like, just stay off the grass, and be mindful. But yeah, I would highly suggest if anybody's like into horror or anything like that, go check that out. And one other thing we got to do, I forgot too, was we got to go. The second night they did a showing of Martin, which of course is another Romero flick about a vampire kid, but this isn't like glitz and glamour vampires. This is like some real fucked up in the head type shit vampire.
Right.
From 1977. But the guy who played Martin, John Amplis, he also played the father in the Father's Day skit in Creepshow. He's like, I got my cake. And he did a couple other iconic roles, but that guy was there and watched the movie with us. It was an outdoor projection at fucking Carnegie Hall at the University of Pittsburgh. Like,
nice.
It was so cool, like such an iconic place.
Oh, I bet.
And we were there for that, and John Amplis was literally 3 chairs over from where I was.
Yeah, I
at.
saw the pictures.
Yep, and we watched the movie. Yeah, Stephanie was like getting little quick pictures, trying to get him in the picture, because we weren't trying to be like, she got his picture and a picture with him at the convention.
Right.
But while we were sitting there, we weren't trying to fanboy out on him or nothing. But after the movie was over, I did walk over and shook his hand and told him it was, an honor to be able to watch it with him there. But, I don't know, Pittsburgh, Living Dead Convention. If anybody has an opportunity to go check that out, do that, and then see the stuff that's around it, too, because it was very, very impressive. Oh, and one last thing. I know we got a long episode, but while I was there, I also got the pleasure of meeting Fred Vogel, who I've been friends with the dude on Facebook forever, but he directed and was in August Underground, the trilogy.
Yeah.
Yep. He did that, and he also did a lot of other work with his label Toe Tag. And it was so awesome to finally meet him, and he was so nice, and we talked about movies, and it was just really cool. And he's from that area too. He was originally from out in New Jersey, moved to the Pittsburgh area so he could learn under Tom Savini's school and all that stuff.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's neat how Pittsburgh, I've never been there before, and it just had a rich history in the horror genre.
That's fucking glad you guys had a fucking great time. That's
awesome,
great.
dude. That's awesome. All right, well, I'll tell you what else is awesome is some killer cage match.
Fuck yeah.
That's where we'd get a list of 100 killers, 100 objects for them to fight with, a variable, and some songs playing. And we got some listeners we want to say thanks again to, Chris.
Yeah, we have fucking Colin Rogers. Thank you, Colin. Thank you again, Peggy Sue. And thank you once again, Ray McDaddy McFall.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And we got a good one tonight in the cage, Joey. What's up?
Lizzie Borden, and you better hope she don't have an axe.
Oh.
She's going to go up against fucking David Burney. He'll rape and abduct you.
That's right, that Australian case. So we've done both of those as episodes. And they got a couple of objects, Chris. We got a familiar one and a brand new one in the mix here.
Yeah, they got a fucking blood-stained stinky thong.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah,
been around
man.
a while. It's
How
got
many
to be
of those
smelling
were-
pretty rough, man.
How many of those were in Castro's house?
Probably a lot.
God damn. Anyway, and then we also have ourselves a pint of McCormick's whiskey.
Wow.
I only have a half pint.
A pint bottle of McCormick's whiskey. And then the variable, Joey. This is a new one into the variables here.
It is a new one. It's G Money after eating a handful of psychedelic mushrooms at the Nation.
Wow, G Money, and I'm not going to belabor this 2+ hour episode, but for those of you that have no fucking idea who that is, you shouldn't. Unless you've heard me talk about this idiot that lived a couple doors down from me when I lived in a trailer. And this motherfucker was like J-Rock from the Trailer Park Boys, but in the flesh. And so he's just a jackass. And so I just threw him in there just as a gag. And then the song playing, Wet Ass Pussy by Cardi B. So we got fucking Lizzie Borden and David Burney going at it to death in the cage with a blood-stained, stinky thong and a pint bottle of McCormick's. And the variable is G Money after eating a handful of mushrooms at the Nation. And the song is Wet Ass Pussy. So, Chris, what the fuck? I mean, there's some wet ass thongs in there stinking.
I'm going to be fucking goddamn quick on this one, honestly. Fucking, so what happens is G Money's tripping balls. He's got Cardi B just bumping. You know he's loving that shit. He looks over, he sees that fucking goddamn thong. He's like, oh man, look at that. He goes and grabs, he's just sniffing it, thinks it's the best thing in the world, sniffing it. He just starts jerking off all over it and fucking goddamn.
Wow.
Meanwhile, fucking Bernie, he's over there. He sees that pint of whiskey. He grabs that. He just pounds it real fast. He just wasted. He's out. Fucking Lizzie Borden, she's like, well, that guy's fucking out. This guy's a fucking pervert. Fuck him. So she just finds a fucking sharp ass piece of glass, goes and fucks off G Money's cock, stabs him in the throat, and then just murders Bernie while he's passed out. I'm giving it to Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden, okay. Joey, what do you think, dude?
Well, I agree with Chris. Man, G Money tripping balls.
Yeah.
He hears that wet ass pussy pounding off our Bose speakers at the Horns High Arena. Like, man,
He's
them
just jerking it.
Oh god, he's like, man, this shit slaps. This
Right.
slaps, dog. But anyway, so he's fucking just bumping now. Lizzie Borden's over there. She's kind of confused on what's going on because fucking she's never even fucking been around in Australia. And David Burney's over there eyeballing her like
Right.
fucking crocodile hunter. She's
He's
kind of a
sizing
little
her
worried
up,
about
dude.
it.
He's sizing her
and
up.
she for sure has never seen anything like the G Money character. Tripping balls in the corner. So she's a little bit out of it. David Burney sees this and he uses it to his advantage. He grabs that fucking bottle of whiskey and he's like, here, drink some of this. It'll calm you down. And before you know it, he's got her in his grasp and she becomes his partner in the fucking killings.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Like his
Bernie's like,
girlfriend.
I got me a new bitch, mate. This is my new bloody cunt, mate. So Bernie's got her. He's like, now watch this. He takes the fucking pint bottle and he fucking breaks it. He's like, now you take this and you go over to that G Money over there and you cut his bloody throat. And then while she's doing that, she takes the broken bottle to go cut G Money's throat. Of course, Bernie sees that fucking blood-soaked thong. He's like, man, That's some fucking badass shit.
You know he
dog.
loves it, too.
And he
Yeah.
picks that up, and he's just fucking sniffing that shit,
Right.
watching fucking Borden do what she does best, just kill a motherfucker. She slices up G-Money. He's bleeding all over the place. Bernie's sniffing the thong. The problem is Lizzie Borden ain't no fucking punk. So she comes back, and she's like, you fucking moron. You gave me the only fucking weapon in this arena, and we gotta fucking fight till the death. Cuts the fuck up out of his fucking throat. He's dead. Fucking Borden. She wins.
Fuck
Wow.
yeah.
All right. Lizzie Borden, both matches. Yeah. All right. I can't say I disagree with you guys. And that's why our listeners love the Killer Cage match. A little update on Creation of Chaos 4. It is done. Brian's finished with the artwork. It turned out really great. My wife got all the interior stuff done, so it's going to be sent off to the printer for hoping it passes through the Amazon checks and balances so I can get a test copy. Set the release date for August 25th. And I've got my website already set up with some perks if you want to advance order Creation of Chaos 4. I've got some perks if you do that early. I've also got some summer sales. All the books in my store are down about 15%. So you go there, you can save some money because Amazon is jacking up their rates on the 20th. So I'm hoping I can get this order in before that goes up, but I'm giving people a deal on the stock I'm sitting on, and then when I have to order them again, the price will go up. So this is definitely a good time to get any of my books. I've got 5 or 6 of them on there, PeteAltieri.com, and link to that in the episode description. And I posted a free writing sample from Creation of Chaos 4. You get to read Chapel of Bones for free. It's on my website. I've got several short stories and a couple of pieces from the novels on there. So you can read before you buy, and the web store secure, shopping cart and all that stuff. And the Murder Metal Mayhem stuff is tied in with my store.
There. Yes, it is.
So you can buy either or all together. We got an appearance set up, Chris, Saturday, August 12th, outside the Painted Wraith.
In Bloomington, Illinois. And guess what? The time is from 10 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, wow. Typo. 10 a.m. Yeah, that's a strange time.
I'm like, God damn, we're going to be out there for a grip.
Yeah. So 10 a.m. at the Painted Wraith. Outside, they're doing this Saturday, August 12th, and we'll be there. And I'll have my books. We're going to have Murder Metal Mayhem stuff, so hopefully Chris can make it out there and hang out. And I will be selling Creation of Chaos 4 a little early on that one. And then Market on Main in Hayworth, I'm doing that again. I've done like 4 or 5 of these. Sunday, September 17th, 11 to 4. It's an outdoor event, not Murder Metal Mayhem, just my books on this one. And also Bob's Bay Books in downtown Bloomington. They contacted me, and Sue Rovens. We did that last year. We're going to do it this time in the fall on a Saturday, but no date set yet on that one. Also, the new Murder Metal Mayhem updated website. I'm going to be making some edits. I updated my writing website today. Here the rest of this week of working on that one, so check it out. And the YouTube channel, go there, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can see when we post new content on there.
Right.
So good
we got
place
some stuff
to go.
we need to get on there.
Plenty of things. All right. Well,
I need to learn how to edit.
Yeah, that would be nice if you could do the video editing. It's the one thing I fucking hate doing. All right. Well, I think we have done plenty of mayhem tonight, so let's hit that fucking outro. Man, some more nastiness. Laceration, those guys are killer. Inhumation is the song. And we did an interview with them a couple years back, a great death metal band from California.
It's been a minute. Dude, it's fucking weird when you think of time.
I know. It's flying by. Bumper music tonight, Joey. Who did we play?
Tonight we listened to Seven Doors Laceration.
Fucking
A,
Toxic
right.
Holocaust.
Big thanks to our buddy Shane Borchuk for doing that intro for us tonight.
I
He's doing a
appreciate
great
that,
job.
Shane. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for fucking being the homie.
That's right. And the metal segment intro, Chris.
Always 100% the great metal motherfucker by Chrysix.
That's right. And the Murder Metal Mayhem intro, Crawl Space by Low 12. Thanks to you guys listening out there. We keep seeing the numbers rolling in. We appreciate it very much. So tell your friends about it. Chris, what about that first one? Our buddy here
Our
commented.
buddy Colin Rogers once again tonight. He says the Beavis and Butthead intro was great.
Hell yeah.
Thanks Shane Borchuk
That's
again,
right.
man. He did that. That was
was really good.
That was him doing it too.
That
It
was really
so fucking good.
Yeah, so thanks, Colin. All right, Joey, what about that second one?
The second one is Renee DaCosta, and the comment
Greece.
is, "Hello from Greece. I listen every week and laugh my ass off. I love hearing the ball hiss from Joey while you guys talk about killing people.
Hell
Epic,
yeah.
please
Thanks,
never
Renee
change.
from
I doubt
Greece.
we will."
That's awesome. And then I love this one, Bobby Killa Bud 666. Growing that green here in Michigan. I listen to Murder Metal Mayhem when I'm changing out my water in the hydro buckets. It's the fucking best, Horns High. So
Cool. At least you get to do weed while we smoke weed.
that's right. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Bobby. And then Chris, how about that last
The
one?
last
dude?
one we got
Gotta
here
love
is
it.
Homer Simpson Tripod says, my girlfriend and I listen to you every week and have for the past 2 years. We're in Dallas, but originally from Mattoon.
Hell yeah.
Love when you mention it. The Mad Gas Rappers was great, and the recent podcast you did on Siebert was also. I've learned about so many great bands from listening to you guys. Thanks.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Homer
Appreciate you,
Simpson,
Homer Simpson
tripod. That's awesome. But from Mattoon.
Let me tell you something funny about Mattoon. Is the other day, fucking our buddy Dan Steinlich hits me up, and he was like, "Hey, I got a job over in Mattoon. What should I go look for?
Did you say
or
meth?
do, or this or that?" And I'm sitting there thinking, bro, there's nothing to do
The
there.
bagel
All I knew
fest.
was drug dealers. There was only. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
do you want some dope? Because I might be able to help you
Shit to
find
do
that.
in
But I don't know
Mattoon,
about
man.
the other shit. No, I said
I was
go
going
to
to say
the
go
that.
to the
Burger
Burger
Yeah,
King.
go to the original
Right
Burger
across
King.
from the school district. I used to eat there when I taught classes there. Yeah.
That's it. That's all there is.
The original Burger King. That's right. All right. Well, Mick dropped me an email. Our listener in Australia, the former Australian cop, he emailed me and thanked me for the shout out last week, and also that he is bragging a little bit that he has surpassed Tex in the sexy voice department.
Oh,
the
shit.
women, throwing panties at fucking Mick, so he appreciates it.
Yeah, throw them a long way to get to fucking
That's
Australia.
right. That's
Jesus.
right. So he appreciates the listeners who like that interview we did with him because it did really well.
Oh yeah, Mick.
Fuck
appreciate
yeah, Mick.
that shit, dude.
And we're going to get him on again.
And thank
a
you,
couple
Tex.
different
We
cases.
appreciate you too, sir. Don't get all
Of
salty.
course. Yeah, we don't need Tex getting all riled up. All right, you can pick up my books on my website. I told you about that, PeteAltieri.com, MurderMetalMayhem.com. We got our stuff. Joey's Distro. Joey, we're going to link to that. Yeah, buy that
Buy my
Goremonger.
shit. Buy
You
it.
can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The 666 Club's a way to support what we do for $3 a month. And I'll link to all this stuff in the episode description. But we can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song. I dug this out because it kind of fits in the theme of Ariel Castro with that salsa music going on. So crank this shit up. And Chris, until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
Keep your fist pounding away at the faces of motherfuckers like Ariel Castro.
Ditto.
Her name was Ola. She was a showgirl with yellow feathers in her hair, and her dress cut down to there. She would merengue and do the cha-cha. And while she tried to be a star, Tony always tended bar. Crossed the crowded floor. They worked from 8 till 4. They were young and they had each other. Who could ask for more at the Cumba Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. At the Copacabana, music and passion were always the passion. The Copa, they fell in love. Fuck yeah. His name was Rico. He wore a diamond. He was escorted to his chair. He saw Lola dancing there, and when she finished, he called her over. But Rico went a bit too far. Tony sailed across the bar. Then the punches flew, and chairs were smashed in two. There was blood and a single gunshot. Punch on who shot who? At the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. At the Copacabana, music and passion were always the passion at the Copa. She lost her love. Man, that fucking sucks. Lola, she was a showgirl, but that was 30 years ago when they used to have a show. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Still in the dress she used to wear, faded feathers in her hair. She sits there so refined and drinks herself half blind. She lost her youth and she lost her Tony. Now she's lost her mind. At the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. At the Copacabana, music and passion were always the fashion at the Copa.